Hey everyone, welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music and we're going to talk about some different albums that we're listening to. Right now we are off the list for a very special episode and we're talking about an Aphex Twin album, Richard D. James. Fair warning, we use some coarse language or say some offensive shit during the show. So I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
And we got a couple of guests today. Why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Hello, I am Kyle. How you doing?
Hey, and this is Paul.
Fuck yeah, guys.
Hey,
So,
guys.
thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I'm glad y'all picked this album too. I'm a big fan of Aphex. I've always been a big fan of Aphex Twin, and I was looking for an excuse to make Andrew suffer through it because
Well, I'm very glad we could come through for you. So
Yes.
fucking A, man.
Yeah. Electronic
right on,
is
man.
not
Guys.
exactly my bag, but yeah, I listen to it.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys, how did y'all get into Aphex Twin? Like, where did that come? Like, how were y'all introduced to him?
I guess I'll go ahead and start. Okay, 1997, there was a show on MTV called 12 Angry Viewers. And it came on at like 11:30 at night, but they used to show some different videos, and I guess it was a take on 12 Angry Men. Like, there would be 12 jurors that rate these videos 1 through 5, and one of the ones that came on was Aphex Twin Come to Daddy. So it came on, and like everybody gave it a 5. It was like crazy, and I sat there and watched that video, and I was just like blown away by some of the special effects in it, just how intense it was. So when it came time that I found the album later that year, I picked it up, and it was like an 8-song like EP, I guess, and I listened to it, absolutely loved it. So later on, I went looking for something else, and that falls into this album. I just happened to run into this one about a year later. I was at a pawn shop, and this CD was like in the $2 bin. Just like the clearance, just like, here, please buy this album so we can get it out of our stock. And I was like, shit, Richard D. James album by Aphex Twin? I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'd love to Come to Daddy. And then I love this one 100 times more.
Fucking A, man.
So that's my story.
Right on. And you, Paul, how did you get into it?
So it's funny, like, listening to Kyle's story, mine's fairly similar. The Come to Daddy music video was played a lot on MTV, and one of my buddies ended up buying the CD. So, like, I just really enjoyed the album. We'd sit in his house, we'd be inebriated, let's say, and like listening to it, and I really got to enjoy it. The music video itself, actually, like Kyle said, it just kind of like attracted me immediately. It's as a teenager, I listened to a lot more, I guess you'd call them angrier genres, like grunge and industrial and some heavy metal.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, seeing that Come to Daddy, like, it really, like, spoke to me. Of course, if you listen to the rest of Aphex Twin's, repertoire, you'll see that that's really kind of, not at all what he's about. But at the time, it was enough to, let me look into, what he is all about, so.
Right on.
Oh, yeah. We could probably get, just talking about this album, how much of a difference it is from that Come to Daddy.
Yeah. And it's,
okay.
I was going to say, it's also, it might be worth mentioning, Come to Daddy is sort of like a remix album for Richard D. James. There's a lot of shared lines and similarities, and there's a couple songs even that are kind of different mixes.
Oh, yeah.
From the RDJ album.
Yeah, To Cure a Weakling Child is Contour Regard, I think is what the mix is on Come to Daddy that's on Richard D. James.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was the video? I don't remember the video that well. Do y'all remember?
We'll have to put a link.
What's going on? Okay.
But if you see the album cover, it's similar to that where a lot of these kids are like running around, but they're superimposed of faces of Richard D. James. So it's like really creepy, these adult faces on these kids running
creepy.
around.
I remember this old lady screaming at the kids.
That's right. That's the one. Yeah.
No,
okay.
And then the part,
I was like,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say with the part where what almost like the monster, where the mouth starts to expand, where it looks like it's going to basically swallow the grandma's head
it's
whole.
like,
Yeah,
just scream it at him, and you're
yeah. That's funny you mentioned "Come to Daddy" because that's my alarm clock. Is the Pappy remix? The "I Want Your Soul"? That's what I wake up to. Like, I have to go to work.
It's also
soul.
That's
so like randomly, I also remember hearing it in the Nicolas Cage movie 8mm.
Oh,
there's like a part near the end of it where like it plays like on a vinyl or something when he's in the guy's house. And,
that's
I
right.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, because I think the first time I ever heard Aphex Twin was the Window Licker music video,
which is also an amazing video.
Yeah, and it's like all this. It's like it's like a fucking over glamorized like hip hop video.
Oh,
yeah. All his face, and it super freaked me the fuck out. Like,
that whole video is pretty fun.
Yeah, he's very
yeah.
But yeah, gotcha. Okay, but yeah, that's where I kind of, and I remember when I really got into him was I had these friends in San Antonio, and every Sunday we'd sit around and we'd play like Risk, and we'd play it all day, or Spades, or we'd play a board game or card games all day, and like we'd always just listen to music. And then Richard D. James, I believe it was Drugs that he had first really was listening to Drugs, and then
Yeah.
in the I remember when I used to work at this restaurant, and when it was like time to shut down, like after last call, and like we wanted people to get the fuck out of here, I would play Zygomatic V17, which is like an 8-minute song. It's super fucking long, and like people were like, okay, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Drugs is a really good album too. I mean, we were having trouble trying to decide what to pick. I think we went for RDJ because of the accessibility and everything, but he has a lot of albums that have a lot of are good. Drugs is one of my favorites, but
and then the one I went back to recently that you recommended to me, Paul, was is it Cyro or Ciro? One from 2014.
Yeah, that's one of his more recent ones. Yeah,
I found myself liking that one a lot more on a recent listen.
I listened to that one too, and I didn't I don't think I'd ever heard that.
Yeah, I think it was like his first release after a decade or so.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think
Sorry. And we're back. Yeah, because I did listen to the Cheetah, the newer one that he just came out with, and that one was really
odd too. Yeah,
but anyway, I'm a big fan of all his stuff. Like he's very, eclectic, we should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got
that's a fair way to describe it.
Yeah, he's definitely got a format that's kind of odd on this album, even as far as electronic music goes. From my standpoint, it's kind of like there's an ambient backtrack, and then a kind of middle of the road melody, and then right up front is like a crackhead operating a drum machine.
That's a perfect description. That's kind of what he's known for. Is his early stuff was a lot of ambient tracks, and then he does a lot of snare rushes. It's kind of the two things that he's really known for.
Well, even if you take the album that was right before this, which I think is the last full length was "I Care Because You Do." Like the first
I love
song,
that one too.
Like the first song that comes into it is like the 7.5 minute, very slow, like takes 2 minutes to kind of finally build into what the song's trying to be.
I love that song. Yeah, that's
So
actually, that album, the first half of that album, I really love. The second half, I'm kind of so on, but it has a very strong start.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree, Paul. Yeah, it very much does. The first part is good, and then it kind of loses me. But honestly, I really feel that just kind of him. This might be saying a lot, but I feel he's kind of like a modern, like our kind of era's sort of like a Mozart or a Beethoven, if you will, because he's more of a composer.
Agree.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to look at it.
Yeah, no, I've always thought the same thing too. There's a few of his piano tracks that kind of suggest that even though he's kind of silly in a lot of his songs, like he can get kind of like seriously just good music, at times too. Whereas kind of take the silliness away and just like chill off your chops, so to speak. I think April was it 14th?
April 14th, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good example of that, where it's just a nice, simple piano melody, but like it's good, it's catchy. I think people have sampled it on numerous things. So
yeah, I just heard someone do a re-release of it last year on Amazon Music, and I actually heard that April 14th on the Weather Channel. Usually, like where it's like 8 at the 8s, where they're playing this real kind of quiet ambient music in the background when they're showing the local weather and all that. They actually played April 14th one time. I was like, holy shit, I know that one. Instead of just being some random Kenny G wannabe sound. So it was like,
yeah.
So
get the fuck out of here. That's cool.
Yeah, I got a couple more stories I'll throw in later. So
I really liked Kenny G wannabe. That's
well, it wasn't like they couldn't even buy good real popular music, so they just went, well, who somebody sounds like him? Yeah, I can just grab that. So.
God damn.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Sorry. You kind of hit me sideways there, Kyle. It's fine. It's fine. Just losing my shit over here a little bit. Sorry. Oh shit.
Hopefully I get even funnier as I go further into these passion fruit goses.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right on. I get funnier the more you drink.
And a little bit more handsome too. Yeah. I mean, I had to take it there.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm looking at that handsome devil, so it's all right.
Yeah.
So y'all want to go ahead and get into this?
Absolutely.
At the beginning. So the first one is, well, actually, before we get there, we're doing Richard D. James, like we mentioned, and this was released in November of '96, and it's very electronica kind of. They say jungle bass, all kinds of crazy techno shit. I'm not big into. I honestly, this is probably the technoiest techno that I've ever seen outside of maybe, I did see, AK 1200 and I saw, who was that? Benny Benazzi. They played together one night and that's about as far as techno goes outside of like anime stuff that I go. So I don't know if you guys like really went into any other techno-y stuff. If y'all were into anything else that wise.
A little bit. There's a few. I can't remember all the bands but one that I still listen to occasionally today is, I think of kind of the yin to Aphex Twin's Yang is a Square Pusher.
I've never heard of them.
So I feel like I don't know how Drew felt about Aphex Twin, but I would say like Square Pusher is the more like human side of that IDM style. He does a lot of that, knob twiddling and whatnot, but he's a bassist to begin with. So like he'll do a lot of stuff where he'll like set up a crazy loop and then just play the bass over it like really fast and sporadic, and so like there's a more human side to it than Aphex Twin generally has. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
He's got a couple albums too that are more live sounding than other albums. So but yeah, Square Pusher, I think he's worth looking looking into if you like Aphex.
Them and what was the other? Was it Boards of Canada? Is that right?
Yes.
Have y'all heard of
Boards
them?
of Canada. Yeah.
They're a little more, but they're more kind of relaxing kind of style. Or I guess, and then also who's the Lemon Jelly? They kind of do that kind of stuff. They're more, but they're kind of more instrumentally, but. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's like 50,000 DJs and shit like that.
Sure,
It's fantastic because just like I really wasn't listening to electronica music. This is one that just snuck up on me because '97 I was going in between a lot of different sounds. I was kind of just finally rediscovering the Beatles, and then I was big into Tool.
Oh yeah,
Ben Folds 5's bigger album just came out around that time. So I was in the mix of a lot of different things, and then this just kind of rammed its fist in the middle of everything. It's not the best way to say it.
Yeah. And then I'm sure you're all pretty acquainted with Daft Punk, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
because
go ahead. I don't know. So I'm not super akin with a lot of electronic music, but I did live in Houston for a year, and my roommate at the time and one of his friends, they took me to like a whole bunch of like raves and electronic music festivals and shit. So I've eaten a lot of Molly and seen a lot of DJs and not remembered a lot of their names. Is my point there. I've seen Deadmau5 at ACL.
Okay.
And so like, yeah, I've seen some cool shit. But a lot of it I was real fucked up and like, you know, like paint parties are real fun until you get home at like 4 a.m. and the fucking roll has worn off and you're just like all sticky and shit. And it's like, yeah. But it's a fun time while you're doing it.
I did roll, and then I was rolling when I saw AK-1200, and I climbed in the speaker. That was fun. I was just sitting in there like, the music is moving through me.
I'm a conduit from the speaker to these people.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start with 4. What are your feelings on this one?
Love it.
I think it's a really good opener for the track. It kind of gives you an idea of who Aphex Twin is. You know, like I said earlier, like ambient music and the snare rushes kind of all put together, and it's a good opener. I feel like.
Yeah, because I like the way that it waves where like these really heavy like bass sounds going on, then all of a sudden it like I don't know how to explain it. Like it waves and all of a sudden doom boom 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 like in the middle of all that craziness going on. Like it balances itself from literally like I don't know measure to measure. So so I just think that's fantastic. And then
so this song is it's very listenable. Compared to some of,
I understand what you're saying. I have a few notes for later songs, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Right. So I'm gonna make, I think I just broke Shane, but
man, out of the gate, I can see what you feel about this.
Hey, alright, so I'm gonna make an analogy here. Aphex Twin reminds me in a way of Frank Zappa, because it's like Frank Zappa is super fucking off the wall, not very listenable to a lot of people. Like a lot of people just can't fucking handle it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking
about. I get it.
Like when we introduced Frank Zappa on this podcast, I want to use an album that I think is very listenable. For somebody coming in cold. And that's what I mean by this song. Coming in from never hearing of Aphex Twin to begin with, this song is very listenable compared to some of the other stuff on the album that might be a little more off-putting.
Yeah.
This song is also extremely melodic. Like, the melody here is fucking on point.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the snare rushes and shit in this album in general, but this song handles itself well. So yeah, this is a pretty okay song for me.
No, I think that's what I was trying to get at when I was talking about the fact that even when I was doing rush, it kind of swings back to the melody, then does its rush, then back to the melody. Like it's balancing itself,
right,
and letting you know what the drum beat is, even with all the craziness going on top.
And I think that's a common theme throughout, where he's trying to balance that rush with like an ambient background. Or backtrack or something, and then like the kind of medium melodies, and that's a common theme. Although a couple of songs break away from that.
Sure, yeah. There's before we move on too far, I just wanted to mention there's that couple parts in this song where he like the beat kind of drops out and you hear like a little bit of voice, and it's like is this it? Yep. Or Richard? Yep. He says,
Right.
Like so what I've heard is that's like, so I've heard a couple of different things about that, and it's hard for me to make out. The yep is really clear, but what's said before it, I'm not 100% sure, but, long ago I remember reading about how, like, he owns it. So, I don't know if you know this, but, Richard D. James, Aphex Twin, he owns a tank. Just like a straight up military
real?
tank.
Yes.
Is that real? That's a real fucking thing?
That's what I've heard. So what I've heard is that sample is like his dad, like seeing the tank for the first time. And he's like, "Is this it?" Yep. But I've also heard other things that say, like, he's just his dad calling him for tea. Richard, yep. So anything that he says in interviews, you kind of have to take with a grain of salt. So,
dude, okay, the whole tank thing, like, I thought that was like some playground fucking rumor.
I've heard he actually does own a tank, though. Yeah.
I mean, it's not illegal to own a tank. The guns can't work.
We'll go for photographic proof of it. So, one other thing I wanted to share about the song is that they actually used in the early 2000s when they were doing like the anti-drug promotions, like this is my anti-drug. They actually used Aphex Twin's for one of those commercials. And I happened to be watching an episode of Monday Night Raw when it was like 10:45 at night, and all of a sudden that song kicks out. I'm like, holy shit! They're using Aphex Twin for a commercial on prime time. Like, I lost my shit. Like,
and I'm fucking stoned.
No, I wish I was. But no, just the fact that Aphex Twin, I guess, felt like he had enough credibility that someone could use him as part of a anti-drug promotion, use him during primetime television, and Raw at that time, people were still watching it, so it was like, I just thought it was a really cool thing. That's a neat exposure for him.
For sure.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, okay, Paul, I didn't know that. I thought I was the only one that had heard the video of the fucking tank and he drives around with it.
Yeah,
No, I heard about that.
Yeah, I've heard stories, again, like, you have to take anything he says in your review with a grain of salt, but I've heard, like, he's actually tried driving it just once, because, he did not do well, I guess, driving it, but I don't know how, I think he's there's some bands that are known for, like, kind of fucking with, journalists, and I think he's one of them, he just likes to see what stories he can get out there, and
man. So one of my favorite fucking with journalists acts is goddamn Buckethead, because he refuses to take the fucking mask off, and he talks through that fucking puppet. I love it. Fucking love it.
Yeah, that is true. He does like to fuck with people. Oh man.
I've heard part of that is that he's like extremely, extremely shy or like severe anxiety or some shit. So that's like his mask, literally.
No, that's understandable.
Oh, kind of like what like Matt Dillon.
Sure.
Like he always wears the mask. Yeah. Anyway.
I was gonna use Sia as a example, but that's way too pop for this podcast, so.
Who's that?
Sia, the pop singer.
Sia,
Yeah, who has the half black hair, who always hides her face.
Sia.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, she's good.
I know, it's just a weird... Just given what we're talking about, it's like a weird reference to bring up. It's like, oh shit, I'm with Pop here, didn't mean
to. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, no judgments.
Yeah,
no
my
judgments.
top 40 is showing.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you right now, like yesterday I was listening to Janelle Monáe's Metropolis series, and I gotta say that shit is hot fire. I mean, I'm not even. Yeah,
I've not heard it yet. So.
It's kind of outside my normal, but it's. I was listening. It's like, why haven't I listened to this before? Apparently, she's a huge sci-fi nerd, and
wow,
so,
no shit,
huh? Well, yeah, apparently her whole she's got this whole series based on the 1926, I think. Fritz Lang movie in Metropolis.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I don't want to get off on a tangent.
Well, real quick, Paul.
I would say
Can you say that shit is hot fire again for me? But like as Paris Hilton.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah.
No. Can you say it as Dylon?
All right.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I just fucking love that. That tickled me in a weird way.
No, I was like, it was one of those things I've listened to. It's like, shit, man, this is really good. Like, why haven't I put this on before? But yeah.
Huh. I'll have to give that a listen. That sounds fun. Huh. Okay, well, that's 4.
Yeah, 4.
Okay, so number 2 is Cornish acid.
Right.
Has anybody actually had Cornish acid?
I have not.
I have not. I have not either.
I'll be honest, I've never sourced any of the...
What?
I don't know if it was Cornish or not, but...
Right. That's so I've got the same question. What makes it Cornish? What's the difference?
I don't know. I think it's just like the type of acid. I know there's like a window seal or window pane, and there's like, I don't know. I just put it on my tongue.
Yeah. Like I don't ask about that shit. I'm just like, yeah, just drop that shit. Let's go.
Just put it on.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. I'm just curious. Anyway, so what do you guys feel about this song?
It's okay.
Yeah, I would say like my notes I have like nice beat, but it's maybe a bit fillerish. Like it's kind of a filler song. Like it's really just iterations on the same beat over and over again for about 2 minutes. You know, and it's not bad. It's good, but it
is, and I was paying attention to it a little bit today on the drive here. I guess part of what I like about it is that it has a time signature change. Where the first one, it plays to like 9 measures, and then it changes to 8, because I noticed that the rhythm, something was different about it as I was listening to it. I was trying to process it in my head, and unfortunately I don't know shit about time signatures, but I noticed that it was playing with 2 different time signatures as it was doing the beats.
Dude, whether you know about music or not, you picked up on you're more perceptive than the rest of us.
So, well, no, because one of it plays like 9 measures and then like 8 measures. So it was almost like in 4/4 time, but playing, like I said, 9 bars versus 8 on the second one. So,
okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly 4/4. Like I just kind of keep it in my head 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going, okay, there's 9 measures here. So, like I said, that's what I picked up on. So it was a nice little play with my head. So. I guess listening to Tool enough, you get kind of used to constantly changing time signatures.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say. I do I like the song, but it's not it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So the next one,
on to, Peak 82454521200201.
It's, Peak 8675309.
Nice.
Now see, this one I can't give you as much of a breakdown on. I feel like this is one of the songs on here that sort of escapes me. Like I hear it and I'll remember it.
Yeah.
I know I like it, but it doesn't stick with me the way that other songs do.
Yeah, So I had to like make notes as I was listening to these because without lyrical content, it's kind of hard sometimes. So this one has like this metallic like metronome type beat that's just permeating the whole thing, like tink tink tink, you know, like through the whole song, and they just kind of like, and I don't know, like it's kind of interesting. It's got a lot of dissonant sounds, like, but then there's like this flowery, like ambient music backing it, you know. So and then just like him doing his show off stuff, you know, in the foreground. But there is like a really nice drop, like in the middle of the song, or, you know, like after a lot of like show off, it just drops and then goes into the rest of it. And that's kind of nice. But I don't have too much.
That was
title.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I was gonna say that the title is also kind of, interesting. So I'm a software engineer. That's, you know, what I went to school for. That's what I do for my job. And so, like, the one thing about Aphex Twin is he does a lot of his own programming, for his music. Like, he actually will make instruments or he'll program the instruments. And so the title here, I believe, refers to, basic commands, peek and poke. Are a couple basic commands to read and write data from memory location.
Oh, okay.
So peek is, you know, is whatever that 82454201, like that's I guess a memory location or something. I mean, I don't know much more to it than that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the title refers to.
I mean, who doesn't like to peek and poke it once in a while, you know?
Yeah, you know.
True.
Yeah,
For some reason, when you said that, Andrew, it made me think of like Goku when he was a kid. He's like poking her vagina. I don't know why.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
It's just weird thing. I don't have a lot to say about this song either. I do like that that it blended well, like they did transition from Cornish to Peak, like there was a good flow.
Yeah.
So I wondered if this was meant to be a song and he was kind of fucking with it and then decided to chop it up, if that makes sense. Or
No,
if
that totally makes sense.
To be...
That one flows into the other. They're bringing them one to the other.
Uh-huh.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know. Beyond that, I do like, Paul, I do like that drop. I love that when he does that in his music, well, he'll drop the sound for like a half, like a ding, doo, doo, and then it comes back. You know what I mean? I love
he does that a lot. There's, so we mentioned Drugs earlier, like my favorite track, maybe of all of his tracks ever, but definitely off that album is one called For Husband. That has like a really good drop like that, where it slowly builds and then it just drops, and you're like, oh yeah,
that's what I always liked about Zigmatic with V17 was there's that it's all this crazy noise, and then it stops and then it goes ding. That one like it takes like 8 minutes to get there, but it's fucking perfect when it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then but beyond that, I don't have a lot more. As far as this one goes, I don't know. Anyway, so anything else you want to say about Peak?
We're good, man. I wrote
okay on that one.
Yeah. I literally wrote meh next to it and then moved on.
Okay.
Although I did give it a glowing review, so.
Yeah.
It's one of the not listenable songs.
Well, okay, so I wouldn't classify, alright.
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, some of the stuff on here, like from, I have a background of really weird music, so this whole album is listenable to me. It's just not my bag, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
I would say, one thing that, I've noticed with Aphex Twin albums is every album has, like a handful or at least one or two, like what I call show-off songs.
Okay.
Where they're not really songs that like you listen to like, like really get into a groove. He's just like, look how fast I can twiddle these knobs and, and still keep it beating in the background somehow.
Right.
And it's like, and this is the show off, like, it's kind of like, guitar wank, just wanking away, you're like, all right, yeah, that's good, but you don't listen to that for, like, just for ambience, you don't put that on in the background necessarily,
I got you.
I mean, I will say, like, listening to this past week, I straight up had no problem with this being background music. Like, when I'm working in the workshop and shit like that, or cooking breakfast or whatever, like, I had no problem with this being my background music. So it wasn't off-putting. A couple of the songs were just not good for me, but this wasn't super off-putting that it, like, if I'm waking up and, like, getting ready in the morning and shit, I'm okay with this in the background. It's just kind of okay in my book, because it's not my jam.
That's alright, you. Alright, well, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to Finger Bib.
Fuck yes, Will.
I love this song.
I was about to say, I love this song too. This is probably one of my favorites off the album.
I know I just got done talking shit about this album, but this is legitimately up there for me too.
You can just bop your head while you're listening to this one. It's just so pleasant. It's almost like especially certain parts of the song are so pleasant. It's like you can just kind of walking down the street, just kind of bopping your head a little bit.
I always
do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I always describe the song as it's like the soundtrack to a nice Sunday drive.
Fucking A.
It's nice. It's really chill, and you just like going along. You don't really have like necessarily a destination. You're just chilling, like.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's one of my favorite songs off of this album. It's just.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels like we're all in the same direction on this one.
Yeah, I like that. I wrote down mellow, but I really like the pleasant descriptor, and I really like the Sunday drive. That's a great goddamn analogy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of have did y'all have it feels sort of like Eastern, like maybe like Japanese kind of soundy?
I wasn't thinking about that while I was listening to it, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah, same.
I feel like this would be like if you were in like a Super Nintendo RPG and you had to go to Japan, this would be the song. Like on there? Like that would be their song?
Oh, you used the reference I was going to use later. You just like cut my nuts on that one.
I'm so
Oh, no.
sorry.
No, I'm totally
sorry.
joking. But I'll come back to that exact reference.
Like a
A little
paper
bit
cut
later.
to the nuts.
No,
I don't know. Just for me, like it like I don't know, honestly, what made me when I hear this song, what comes to my mind is was it Yuffie's village? Was it Wutai in Final Fantasy VII?
The Wu-Tai Clan?
Bringing me back.
No, no, okay, no time. Anyone? All right, self-five. I don't know why. I have like either that or I think of like the carnival at or the festival in oh god, what's this? The Chrono Trigger. Like I feel like that would be
One of the very beginning of the game.
yeah, where they have the races and stuff like that. I feel like that would be like could be like the I don't know. It made me think of like a fucking RPG, like a Super Nintendo RPG.
well, if you think
I can
about
see
it, the
that.
fact that this came out in '96, which was right in the middle of the Super Nintendo era, I know it technically ended around '97, but it's still based on when he was probably making these songs. It's actually who knows? That could have had a strange amount of influence. It could have had some influence on what he was doing.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at something. On there.
Oh, that's cool. It just, for me, like, I have more of a relation to, like, when I hear his stuff, it makes me think of different situations or different scenarios. And, like, for that one, it just made me think of, like, I don't know, like Chun-Li stage or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Well, fucking A, Cotton.
I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, anything else y'all want to say about Fingerbit?
I like it starts with like a weird sort of water splash sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all otherwise I have to say. It's kind of a cool way to start. Like,
That's good shit.
Yeah. Alright, well let's move on to Cornmarth, or Cornmouth. As it says it's also listed as Cornmouth. It's Cornmarth. Cornmarth. What did you guys think?
The first half of this song was good for me, and he does but right around, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, he pulls in a snare rush that's just not really pleasant to me personally. So
yeah,
it kind of balances out where it's like it starts good, but it finishes bad for me. I wish he had just kind of kept his musical theme just throughout the whole song instead of like making that, because it's a pretty abrupt fucking change like 2/3 of the way through. It would have taken the song from okay to pretty damn good if he had just left it alone.
See, I think I'm a little bit... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I do agree that it is a bit jarring near the end.
And see, I feel a little bit opposite. Like, I like it at first, and then I get bored with it, and then when the snare rush comes in, it picks me back up into the song. So I feel sort of the opposite way, where if it didn't do that snare rush 2/3 of the way of the song, I'd be lost. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a disposable track. So I guess I'm
I actually, my notes for this song has, this song features some great snare rushes that he's known for. So, you know, so I'm kind of a few there. So.
No, it's nice that we're equally divided on that one.
Yeah, I guess
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it is jarring, but he does pull those fucking snare rushes, which is I like it. Like that's the shit that I love. Like that's mainline shit for me, man.
So I guess I'm just not a huge fan of the snare rush kind of like thing in general. So for me, it takes me out of it, and I prefer the more ambient sounds. But again, you know, this is not the album for me. So
you know, I get it. No, but I do like it's very all of it, and I love that it gets kind of to the point quick, and then fucks with it, and then all right, we're back. Like you know, I like the back and forth. You know what I mean? That fun, like okay, we're gonna fuck with it. All right, and we're back, and we're done. Because it's a very short song.
It is, yeah.
I mean, all of his songs are kind of short, really.
Well, yeah, on this album especially.
Yeah, on this album for sure. Like, except like when you're listening to like 15 hours of Stoned in Focus or some shit like that. But yeah. Anything else you want to say about Cornmarth? Cornmarth.
I don't know. It was an interesting song for sure, but yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's go on to Cure a Weakling Child.
Right. Yeah, this one also does the jarring thing.
Yes, but it does it better.
Yeah, I actually, this is a percussive tour de force. It's, there's like drums, spoons, rolls. I mean, there's like so much stuff going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're not into that, then I can see that. I actually kind of enjoy it to a degree, but it's also like one of those songs that like, I don't know, I could take it or leave it on this album, but it's got the vocals also kind of have that. I put it like oddly comforting yet slightly creepy quality to them.
It's almost
whatever
like,
that means.
It's almost like
welcome
you used,
to Aphex Twin.
Yes,
it's like you used
exactly.
sick children to do his vocals so that it's like oddly comforting, but in a weird way.
Well,
yes.
What I think of this song is, let's say if Aphex Twin was building this to have actual like radio singles, and let's face it, there's going to be no radio singles on this one. But this is one of those that would have been built in the way that he was thinking of this almost like a radio single in terms of building an arcing story to it, building it so that way it tries to find a way to draw more people interested into it rather than just simply throwing all the electronic sounds to the wall and seeing what sticks. This is definitely, it feels like it's got this slow build, this slow burn to it, even though it goes crazy in the middle of it. But
I will say that is a nice thing about the song is that slow build. It starts off really like nice, slow, and then just adds stuff over time.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and that feeds into that he's a composer.
yes,
For me, like my argument into that is that this is him writing like a movement. Does that make sense?
No. I feel like it's going along with a little bit of what I'm saying. So absolutely.
Yeah. I completely agree that this is a composed song that has, it builds crescendos and then comes back down.
No,
Right.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
He's interesting. The artist himself is interesting as an arranger and a composer. I mean, whether it's my jam or not, like, he does know his shit. And he does know how to do arrangements in an interesting way. So this wasn't a bad album for me at all. It was just not my jam. But I appreciated kind of where his talents were and what he was doing. But I guess that's more for the wrap up. Anyway.
Yeah. But also, it's kind of impressive as well that, I mean, not only as an artist, if you will, but he also builds these fucking programs and builds his own computers and shit like that. So he's got it's like a twofold thing, like where he's not only making and composing music, but also the technical side of doing programming, which I think, Paul, you're fucking goddamn programmer.
There's like two sides to it too, because he's building the hardware as well as programming.
Right. Go ahead.
At this stage, he might just be doing the programming half, but there's one album, like an EP he released much later called is it Computer Controlled Acoustic Instruments? And it's like all acoustic instruments, but with like computer controlled hammer-ons and off and whatnot. So it's got a weird like human, but also like AI driven quality to it. It's
okay.
Awesome.
So I imagine in the world of like synth, this man is just like a god.
For me, yes.
So
for me, for sure.
To go on a tangent, there's we mentioned way earlier that window licker video, right? If you listen, like in the middle of that song, there is, and it's like a 8 or 10 minute song, like it's a long song.
It's a long one,
right?
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it, there's a little bit of French, and I believe it was his girlfriend at the time who was like Canadian French or something, and if you translate it, it's like, I like to make dog food. Which, I remember me and my friends would sit around, like, listen to this. And we're like, I wonder if it's just like, he's like so good, he just like to throw out this dog food for us, for his audience, so to speak.
God damn it, Paul, I had a whole fucking mouth. You said I like dog food.
It's like, I like to make dog food, and it's like, it's just, I don't know, so, like that was kind of like our joke is like, all this stuff that he's creating for us, it's just, to him, it's just dog food. It's just simple stuff he's just throwing out, but so to a degree, yeah, maybe a god of his instruments, of choice, so.
Fucking A.
Wow, that's a great way to think about it.
Sorry, I almost drowned in my vodka. It's fine. Could be worse ways to go.
This week, Shane dies live on the air.
$100 Patreon. Like fucking faces of death audio. Anyway, excuse me. Back to what you were saying, Andrew. Yeah, for me, he's fucking. I know dick about computers. I am the fucking. I know how the keyboard works, and maybe the mouse on a good day. So for me, like that, he actually builds his machines and fucking and then writes the programs for the fucking musical instruments, and then makes the song. Is like that to me is crazy. That's what kind of what you do with building guitars. That's fucking crazy to me. Like that you build the fucking machine that you play on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I suck at playing it. So.
You're pretty good. You're okay. No, I'm kidding. No, you're pretty good. You're good.
I don't have any goddamn albums, so I'm not a fucking professional at anything I do, and this man is. And
Doc, if Stitches has 8 fucking albums, you can make an album tomorrow.
Fair point.
Well, fair point. And I was just about to say that, like, the fact that he's doing all this building and this programming, and he's releasing as much stuff as he did during the 90s. Because that stretch from probably 93, 92 to 97, I mean, he's got quite a few albums in there. So if you go back and look at his catalog, the fact that he was doing all this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, to date, he's probably like 10 or 12 deep for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so while we're talking about different albums real quick, he's got one called Live from Rossdale. Have y'all heard that one?
No.
No?
I actually have not, yeah.
It's a quote-unquote live album, and again, it's kind of along the theme with like the tank. I don't know if this is a real story or not. But, so Live from Rossdale, from what I hear, what he does is he just takes audience noises and then loops it or puts it into the whole album. Cause it's all like it's all like different remixes and shit like that. But he puts the live audience in there, so it's not an actual live album.
Oh.
But it sounds like a live album.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
I will look for that.
And it does have one of the most fun, Come to Daddy bits, cause at the very beginning of the Come to Daddy Pappy, the I want your soul. Before that, it's Veruca Salt from, Willy Wonka.
Nice.
I
want
it
to
now.
party at 10,000 laughter, 10,000 tons of ice cream. Yeah. And if I don't get the things I am after, I'm going to scream.
Dude,
I want your soul.
I was at fucking work the other day, and I needed a signature for somebody, and they said, yeah, I'll be back in like 5 minutes, and I fucking quoted that, and I went, but I want it now!
I want it now! Calm down, Veruca. I say that all the time. Calm down, Veruca. Calm down, Veruca.
Nice.
Anyway.
So fucking
moving on to, Goon Goombas.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
Let me look at my note
Gumpus.
here.
I'm sorry, Gumpus. I thought it was Goombas for the longest time. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I
talking about
too.
the fucking
Like, I always think of like Mario when
Exactly. I thought I was like,
you're right, it's
I was
Gumpus.
like, it's Gumpus, and I'm looking at it now, and my brain's like, nah, dude, that's Goombas. Nah.
Trust me, my brain's doing the same thing.
This is short.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, it's short. So I described Finger Bib earlier as like the soundtrack to Sunday Drive. I feel like this is more like a soundtrack to like a fairy tale or something, like Hansel and Gretel skipping through the forest or some shit like that. So
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of went way different. For me, I was just like, this is fucking This is Buddy the Elf like skipping through a department store. This is Christmas. That's what this song is. It's goddamn Christmas. That's where my brain went.
I would go with that too. Yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable as well.
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
This comes back to my note from earlier. This is my favorite Squaresoft song from a Super Nintendo RPG. That was exactly what I had written to that. And that's why I went changed it. I was like, because this is what
fairy tales, elves, RPGs. I mean, I think we can all make.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is what a Final Fantasy VI Village felt like before Kefka fucked things up. So. So that's my way to explain Goon Gumpus. I love this song. So it's just like that kind of peaceful walking. Doom, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Your village, your heroes happily walking into the village, and people are okay and don't know the world's about to go to hell. So
you fucking go into a shop and break a jar or two, and there you go.
Exactly.
What's going through your mind the moment before Sephiroth walks into your town? Yeah, for sure. Honestly, for me, I have all these weird visualizations, but I feel like this is what goes through. I don't know if y'all remember Brack, like from the Brack show.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love Brack. Yeah.
Yes. This is like
hey,
what
everybody,
like, dude. Like this is what goes through his head all day. Like that's what it's like. Just this super innocent, perfect person. Like
that's perfect.
That's what's going through her fucking head all day. Like just looped all day.
Yep.
Oh man,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, but also Brack is fucking amazing.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He is. It's funny, like, there's that, on, The Nation, there's that whole, favorite Hanna-Barbera character, thread, and Brack was who I put in there.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I didn't know.
Nice.
I didn't fucking know Brack was Hanna-Barbera.
That's true.
Apparently, well, he's a Space Ghost, right? So he's one of the enemies.
Dude, it didn't even fucking cross my mind. Like, that's really fucking good. I mean,
to be fair, the Brack that I know is not the Brack that, like, they created in this,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a little different in the 60s, but.
I mean, like, Zorak's my, like, spirit animal, but Brack is amazing.
He's up there too, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, we constantly say, it really is Brack.
Yeah.
That's your mom from fucking the Brack show.
Yeah.
He really is Brack. And I'm an excellent lover. He really is Brack. Oh, shit. Man, when they were talking about Hanna-Barbera characters, I was in my car screaming, Birdman!
Yeah.
Birdman's good too.
Birdman, get in here.
Fuck it, and then when he said the hippopotamus, fucking
Peter
wrong, I was like, oh my god, I was like, Peter Potamus! Oh fuck. Anyway. Anyway. Fucking love you guys. This is awesome. Having so much fun right now. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Yellow Calyx.
This is my favorite Aphex Twin song ever.
This is really good, yeah.
This is amazing because I think this is, as I was talking about, where Kira Wakeling Child is like a single, but this song tells a story. Like, I listen to this song, and I think it's a story about life. Like, how it starts so peacefully, like when you're a kid, and then how things start to pick up, like as you hit your teenage years, puberty hitting in, and adulthood hitting in, and so I'm going to explain it. So as things get rougher in the middle, is kind of like as you're going through the middle age, and then kind of fighting your way through, and then as the song, as you reach the end of it, that's kind of the end of your life. So at that point where that like, boom, hits right towards the end of the song in the middle of that, at the end, I think of that as literally like the moment that you pass away, and the moment that the angel or whatever is in you the soul starts to leave your body, and that's what the end of it is kind of that peacefully your body, whatever, your body like, dying, and like I said, that angel leaving you or whatever it is that's leaving you, and kind of that peaceful going away. So that's what I'm telling about that song. So that's just what I think.
God damn.
Holy
Wow, that's
shit.
much deeper than I thought. But yeah, it's
So
yeah, wow. Well, I really like the song too. I have a whole like little paragraph in my notes, but like at the end it's like it's just so good. It's got this repeating background sound that just kind of drives the song all the way through it's like a pop from a record player,
yeah.
But like there's this rolling sound partway through and like a beat, and there's this great drop towards the end into this whole like they just drop all the percussion for a little bit and just go to straight ambience, and I don't know, the whole track's very beautifully crafted. It's so good, so good. That's what I have at the very end.
Oh no, this is fantastic.
So it's really good.
I completely agree. I didn't think about it on that kind of level. Holy shit, it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that far, but yeah, it's a really good track.
Yeah, no, I got nothing else to say. Kyle knocked it out.
This is the song that where you talk about the whole him being a composer. This is the song I would point to as evidence of what you're talking about. The total agreement.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually this song and the next song too. Honestly.
Oh yes.
Okay.
And I think this is where it really highlights where I think he went from just making fun, weird songs and sounds and like being like a DJ to an artist, like composer level. Like that's why I said, I do say it's kind of heavy to say that he's up there with like Beethoven and Bach or whatever, but this is the kind of shit where it really like that. This is if I were to make an argument, this would be there. Boy Girl Song would be there. Like a lot. It really drives home that he is an artist and he's really, really good at it.
Fucking A, man. Well,
yeah.
Before we move on to Girl Boy, can I take a piss?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you throw your opinion into the song as well? I don't remember.
No, but I'm not gonna. I
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the same.
Guys.
Okay.
Might as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Be right back.
Thanks.
Ooh, vodka. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Basic ass white bitch drinking vodka.
And so the story goes.
What's up? Oh shit, were y'all listening?
Oh, no. I'm getting ready to switch from ghost number 3 to ghost number 4. So.
Tight. Are those the kind of soury ones? Goes
yeah. Drewski knows my love for sour beer, so.
Oh, really?
Nice. He picked this up.
You like the sours?
Absolutely. I've somewhere in the last year discovered them and fallen in love with them.
Yes.
Really?
It's funny, like, I don't drink a lot of sours, but when I do, like, I really do enjoy them, but I can't drink a lot of them at once, it's just like, oh, you have sours on tap? Yeah, I'll take a sour, like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a Guinness. I can have one throughout the night, but I can't sit there and drink them all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drewski knows we went to the Evil Check it was, and they supposedly had sour beer on tap, but of course they ran out the day. I fucking go to order one, so of course I'm pissy about it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If you want me, make me pissy, that's just what to do. Let me know you fucking ran out that day.
Yeah, so when I went to the liquor store, I found it might have been the only sour they had, and I'm not I'm not regularly a sour person, but I'm gonna drink one right now just to get a feel for it, and it's not fucking, like, I don't have a problem with, like, fruity and sour beers, like, that, Shiner Ruby Redbird. It's not a sour, it's just a straight fruity beer. That shit's fucking bomb.
Yo, the Redbird is badass. For sure.
So, like, I like
a
little fruit in my beer and a little fruit in my, life, if you know what I mean. Shane does.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, well, I mean...
I think I'm about to find out. Oh, I should have said that while you're drinking, Drewski. Sorry.
Hey, man, you volunteered to come here.
I volunteered to come other places, too.
Was it on his face, his back?
Oh no.
Are we recording this part?
Oh yeah.
We never stop.
I don't stop recording.
But I had a really good. I think it's Revolver. They had a really good watermelon that was really, really good that I liked. And the other one that I really like as far as gozes go is Sierra Nevada has a beer called Otra Vez.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
Fuck yes, dude.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
man. What's really good, what I like to do with those is they make bomb-ass micheladas. They make super, like, so I don't know if y'all know what I'm from Texas. This is the thing we do. Like, what other people call red beer. Basically, make a Bloody Mary.
With beer.
But put the beer instead of the vodka. And with that Ultra Vest, fucking perfect.
I am sold. So
Yeah, man.
share me that
That sounds
recipe,
good.
and I'm going to put it together.
I mean, it's literally just take whatever your favorite Bloody Mary recipe is and substitute beer for vodka.
Well, I don't really
Yeah.
have one. I just have it made at the bar, so I never
Right.
actually make my own. So that's why I'm
I
saying share me
usually
your
get the
recipe.
mix and add some olives and celery and call it a day, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Well,
maybe you
no,
had something
yeah.
particular you did with yours, so.
Oh, no. Well, I'll type something out. I was a bartender for like 8 years.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
I'll tell you exactly what I do and how I do it, and I'll send you that, and basically what you do, well, I guess basically, just get your cup of whatever, fill it with ice. Like for me, I'm having a 20-ounce glass right now.
Okay.
I fill it about 3/4 of the way with ice. Put, probably a 2/3 of the way up with beer.
Okay.
I would do about 4 shakes of regular pepper, 2 shakes or 3 or 4 shakes of celery salt,
Okay.
2 dabs of Worcestershire.
Okay.
I like them spicy, so I add a lot more Tabasco than most people like. But whatever your heat level is,
Oh, I can
throw that
definitely
in there.
do Tabasco, so.
I like that.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Honestly, I do about 5 to 10.
Okay.
And then just fill. What I do honestly is I'll fill the beer up to where it's covered, where the ice is floating, and then I just put enough pepper to where it coats the entire top of the ice,
Okay.
and then from there just fill it up with Clamato, and then just shake that bitch up.
Nice.
And honestly, with the
Sounds
Ultra Vest, especially because it has that like soury punch, it really makes a good michelada. A really good.
I want to try this now. This
Dude,
sounds really good.
I discovered Otra Vez when I was still living in San Angelo, and dude, that shit is fucking bomb. Like, I haven't seen
It's
it.
super good.
Dude, I haven't seen it up here. I've seen
I haven't
Sierra
either.
Nevada up here, but I haven't seen Otra Vez. So I don't know if it's a regional thing, but that shit's fucking great.
Yeah,
I-
it's a cactus goes is what it is.
Yeah, dude, and fucking prickly pear anything, give it to me. Like, I fucking love that shit. It's a great fucking flavor. But my brother came to visit me one time, and all I had was an IPA, and I had fucking Ultra Vest, and he fucking tasted that shit, cause he's a Coors Light man. That's
Coors
his
only,
drink.
yeah.
So I fucking gave him an Ultra Vest, and he was just like, dude, that shit, like, you saw that fucking sour pucker on his face, and like, he was just like, he's like, I can't fucking, he's like, I'll just go to the store, fuck this, I can't.
Oh man.
It was glorious. Beautiful.
Like you just sucked on a lemon and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I did actually make my way to the Coors Brewery when I was in Colorado this summer, so.
Fucking
Oh, see, we didn't make it. We didn't make it out there when we went.
Oh, I made it a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shade Drew, it's funny, like, my family actually planned a trip to Denver probably the very next week from when Kyle and his family was there.
Yeah, so I
Like,
missed
it's
them by
just
like
random.
3 days.
I saw that he's there. It's like, oh, holy cow, you're in Denver too. Like, we're gonna be there next week. So we didn't overlap, but you know, like,
these,
this is kind of weird.
did these visits happen to be centered around when Colorado making magic mushrooms legal?
wait, what? What happened?
Wait, what?
No, mine
Whatever
had
do you mean?
no, mine had a sentimental
No,
thing
of
to
course
it,
not.
So.
We're just talking about Aphex Twin.
No, mine has a sort of a sad story, but a happy story to it at the same time. So the kids always wanted to make it to Colorado, and Bree passing away last year. Well, we had planned before she had passed away to try to move to Colorado, and just didn't work out for us.
Wow.
So part of our trip was actually to make it up to Central City, because that's where Bree spent most of our time, because she likes to go to the casinos. So we actually found a place up there to bury some of her ashes up there in Central City. So that was a part of our trip. So, but on top of that, we went to Royal Gorge, and my kids got to go ziplining for the first time, and we just took in the state as a whole. So I mean, we didn't do a ton of things, but we had a great time.
Yeah, there's so much natural beauty in that state. Just
it's gorgeous. Colorado is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would say, so like ours was just a regular family trip. So we found like really cheap tickets on Frontier.
Oh, nice.
Like crazy cheap. Like it was like $250 or so to fly all of us there.
Fuck yeah.
And then
shit.
But we had our flight was originally 1:44 in the afternoon, and they moved it back to 5 a.m. But I'm like, for like the whole family for $250, I'll deal with that. So we got up at 2 in the morning.
Get fucked up at the bar at the airport.
Right? Yeah. We got up at 2 in the morning so we could drive to the airport and everything, and we found out they canceled our flight at midnight. So we're like, well, fuck it. We're up at 2 in the morning. I'm not canceling my trip, so we just drove.
That's awesome.
And I gotta tell you, Kansas is the most fucking boring state to drive through.
Fucking A, dude.
I disagree.
Oh, wow. You probably have a more boring state.
Oh, no,
Oklahoma.
Okay. Oh,
that's fair.
Okay. I see, I'm gonna disagree with Shane here. I don't think Oklahoma's boring. I think it's bullshit.
That's fair.
I've never
I've driven to Lubbock before, so I can attest to part of that, at least. But a very small part.
Lubbock?
But still.
Oh, Lubbock is God. I mean, the whole,
there's way out there, right?
Once you go north of Dallas, man, fuck the rest of Texas. Because it's basically Oklahoma.
That's fair.
So it's north of Dallas, west of, the Austin, San Antonio, Dallas line, and east of Houston. Anywhere, in those directions, fuck that part of Texas.
Yup.
Because it's
anything north, I'm telling you, anything north of Dallas, except Stephenville. They get a pass. Because they have because Stephenville is basically Kingsville in North Texas. And
but Kingsville sucks.
Oh no, it does. Don't get me wrong, it does. I'm just saying, they fucking party. Because I went to all those stupid, when I used to visit you when I had to go to those student government things. Yeah. Stephenville was the only one down to fuck yeah, we're gonna go drink. What the fuck? Why we're here?
Alright. I got you.
See, I've never driven through Texas.
We're going to bed. No, fuck the fuck out of here. Nah, man. We're going to fucking Northgate. I got a free trip. I'm gonna fucking get fucked up on a new place. Anyway,
I was actually glad I didn't have to drive through Kansas this time, because being up closer to Chicago, we drove through Iowa and Nebraska. We stayed in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I bet that was much nicer.
It was. We stayed at this hotel in Lincoln, Nebraska that actually had a retro theme to it. It was called
nice.
It was called The Graduate, and it felt like it was almost straight out of that time period from the 50s. Yeah, from the 50s to 60s. And it had an awesome vibe to it. My kids loved it. In fact, they wanted to make sure that when we drove back that we stayed there again. So I made sure that we did.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, so they they just loved the feel and the theme of it. And they swam in the pool for 3 hours on the time we came back. So they just loved it. So.
Huh. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So it had like a 50s. So did it have 50s? Let me ask you this, because my house is built in the 50s. Were the bathrooms powder pink?
No.
Or baby blue?
Okay. But it had a Nebraska theme to it.
Bullshit. I don't know if I can believe it.
It was all totally covered in corn. There's a corn wallpaper. Stalks of corn.
Yeah, Shane, you gotta understand, this is Nebraska in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
South Texas.
Oh, yeah.
But the 50s and 60s, okay, so my house,
corn.
My house is
corn. Everywhere, corn.
lots of Johnny Carson references there, because I guess Johnny Carson was a big alumni from Nebraska, so they definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So.
That's fucking cool.
And they even had a Super Mario Brothers arcade game there, so I haven't played one of those in years.
Fuck yes, whoa.
So.
Oh, nice.
Wait, what?
They had a couple of arcade games in the corner, and one of them was like Centipede, and one of them was Super Mario Brothers, like the Versus Super Mario Bros. You would find
Versus.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So let me tell you, we have a local brewery up here called Two Plumbers Brewery.
Oh, nice.
After the Mario Brothers, of course.
Get the fuck out of here.
And it's awesome because it's like an arcade brewery.
Nice.
And like it's my favorite like local bar, you know, like because it's actually pretty close to where I live. And but what's funny is over the summer they started doing every other week. They would do on Sunday a family day, so you can like have your kids in there, you know, because normally kids obviously aren't allowed at the bar, you know. But my son, he will play that Versus machine. We have Super Mario. We have like 3 ways to play it. We have a Nintendo. We have a Super Nintendo. We have a RetroPod. We have the Switch. But he will play that Versus machine. Like he will pump quarters into that. Well, and like I mean, he's 4, so I mean, but it's like, you know, there's like driving games and like, you know, there's games that you can't play at home, but you're gonna play the one that you have like 5 ways to play, whatever, you know, but.
Nah, man, it's not the same unless I put a fucking piece of metal in
right?
Exactly. Well, that one technically
and there's also
is different like than all the other ones.
Yeah, and there's also a Play Choice 10 there, which is, you know, like also like they have Super Mario 3 in there, so like, you'll pump quarters into that too. It's just hilarious watching. It's like all these games at your disposal, and you choose the Mario games that you have at home. You know, so.
They're free at home.
But you know what? Like just like the way his eyes light up. Like I mean, I'm not gonna stop that. It's like, here, buddy, have some quarters. You know, like, they give you like the quarter holders. You know, like the old school like belt loop. You know, you just pull the quarter out of it, and he'll like sit there and like he'll carry one of those around.
That's like fantastic.
The best part is he has a chair, like, or a stool that he will carry from arcade to like cabinet to cabinet, because he knows, like, he's not tall enough to actually reach and see, so he's just carrying the stool around. It's like, oh, I want to play this now, so he'll carry his stool to the next one, pump a quarter in, and just go at it.
Oh my gosh, I miss it.
Hilarious watching him, like.
I miss kids at that age.
Awesome.
Mine are all 12
and I get to have a beer named after Pauline. You know, it's a blonde ale. It's beautiful. It's my favorite. But you know, Pauline from Donkey Kong. You know.
Right.
Oh yeah. That's a good fucking reference. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, like all their beers are named after like obscure like video game references. It's pretty good.
Do they have a Billy Mitchell beer? Because they should.
I wish they did, yeah.
It's skunked.
No, they did, but it's discontinued now, so.
Yeah.
Twin Galaxy Brewery went out of business, so.
Lawsuit pending.
Oh, I miss you guys.
I almost got my Joker laugh on.
No, but if I'm in the St. Louis area, I'll check that one out for sure. So
yeah, no, that's so it's more like St. Charles, which is the part of St. Louis that I live in.
I love St. Charles.
So, yeah, so if you're ever up that way, let me know. I really I pass it on the way to work all the time. So I mean, it's really close to where I live.
Well, my daughter actually stayed in St. Louis area with Bree's sister and her husband just a couple of weeks ago. But I met them halfway, so I didn't go all the way to St. Louis. So I met them at like Terre Haute because it was like the halfway point.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if I'd made it there, I would have told you. Told you and Mr. Edler, Mr. Pinball Mage.
Mm-hmm. So it's funny, we were talking about sours earlier, and that was I think the last time I had a sour was at his 40th.
That's the Billy Mitchell beer. It's a sour.
No, I think that'd be a bitter. I wouldn't think it'd be sour.
Well, he's bitter. It is sour.
it's gotta be bitter on the front and sour on the back.
Yeah. And you,
yes.
And you drink, and you have to drink it alone because God forbid you actually drink it with friends.
Right.
He fucking like police tapes himself around him. God forbid someone be around him for a fucking minute. I love Billy Mitchell.
Favorite episode to record. This is my fucking favorite episode I've ever recorded. Holy shit! This is fucking awesome.
This is a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
My sides hurt. Okay.
Speaking of episode, y'all want to talk about Girl Boy Song?
Yeah, we should probably finish this up, right?
Wait a second.
I'm like 3 beers in, and I could get a few more, but
Okay.
So Girl Boy Song, go.
Yeah, I was gonna be really serious about this, but I need to really collect myself.
I'll do this in one sentence. Aphex Twin composes the waltz.
Okay.
Or Aphex Twin rewrites the Nutcracker Suite.
Okay.
I can see that.
So I'll let you guys go with that.
Yeah.
Well, you just pissed all over my fire.
That's for taking my Super Nintendo.
Payback's a bitch, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts bad. Honestly, this song is my favorite song. I think,
I love it, yeah.
I think he does a lot especially with the strings, with the bells, like all the percussion instruments, with the fun snare rush. Like this is his most orchestrated song.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Fucking, there's like so the first, I don't know, this song's alright until we get to this, like, heavy string bridge, and then it's just like, oh fuck. There's this bridge, like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, that's just like, he's still using a synth, right? Like, he's still using digital music and shit, but he's emulating these string instruments, and this bridge that he forms, and it just hit me in a good way.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I hear that. This song, like, it starts out like another, like, you know, fairy tale sort of song, but then, like, all that percussion, like, kicks into gear, and it just takes it in an entirely different direction. The percussion's, like, flying all over. I like the, if you call them verses, like, the second verse, there's this, like, glockenspiel, like, xylophone, like, ding, 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 you know, going through. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, like, I love that. That final machine gun of drums, like, you know, it's like, it's at the very end. The whole thing is very well orchestrated, I feel like.
For sure.
Yes, and what I really like about this song is that the pulse is still there, like throughout entirely. That dun 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 is throughout. It just so happens that, I mean, because it's a lot going on throughout this entire song, but that bump bump bum 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 is throughout continuously.
That is a good point. I didn't have that in my notes, but that I know what you're talking about. That's really good. Yeah.
That string is always through, and you kind of lose it when, like, the drum rush comes in or the bells are there, but it's always there. Like, that's like the heartbeat of the song, and it does not stop.
That's why I think I've talked about it like being almost like the waltz or being like the Nutcracker Suite. I know they're two different kinds of songs, but in terms of the fact that it has a rhythm to it, it has a sway that continues to go no matter what direction the other melodies are going on top of it, or his beats and everything else. There is that, like I said, that sway that was like a dance or a choreography that's going along the whole time that you can, like I said, do some kind of dance routine to as while all the chaos is going on top of it.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure. It's very much like a skeletal system for that, and it's always there. Yes. However, it may morph, yes, but it absolutely, honestly, this is one of my, I think, if not, it's one of my favorite Aphex Twin songs, like, of all time.
Okay.
Boy Girl Song is I think it's phenomenal. I think, in a recent Tadpog episode, weird tangent, but Ian was talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah,
he was talking about getting people into Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and the episode you need to watch is Blink.
Right.
Okay.
I have said that. Me personally have said that a ton of times. I think
Blink's a really good episode. Yeah,
it's a great, and I think that's a good introduction into Doctor.
And unfortunately, I don't know Doctor Who, so this is actually advice to me.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about Blink is that it's a really good introduction to Doctor Who, but at the same time does not really have the Doctor in it at all.
No.
Like he's at the very end and a few recorded shots and that's it. Like it's kind of standalone. It's kind of it's a weird introduction to Doctor Who, but I get it. Like it's a good one, But
it's a super good one, and I think that's for me. The boy girl song is what here. If you want to see what Aphex Twin does, here's a little bit a mix of his harmony and his timings and stuff. Also, here's a good mix of the drum rushes like y'all mentioned, and here's kind of an encapsulated what Aphex Twin is in a song. And I think this is his core, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done.
Mr. James's opus. Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. I fucking love this song. It's fucking crazy.
No, it really is a great song. It sticks to everything that you've been talking about. It fits into there, and this being the longest song on the album, and it's still only under 5 minutes, so it's still very palatable. So if you're introducing people, it still doesn't go off into many of the tangents or like some of his other songs that, on Zero or some of the other ones that can extend 8 to 10 minutes. It's still a manageable length to introduce people to, so you're not forcing people to listen to something much longer than a radio track.
For sure, and it's not as off-putting as some of his weirder shit is, or I think it's a good mixture, a blend of what he does and what he does well, put into one thing. So you can kind of this is Aphex Twin the song.
Yeah, sure.
For me,
I can see that.
That's just how I feel. Anyway, y'all want to say anything else about Girl? I know I've
No.
hard.
No. That's what's great. I think we all have particular songs that we gush to. So how I went off on Yellow Calyx. So it's great that you went off on Girl Boy song like this. So.
For sure.
For sure. Okay. Well, nothing else. Then let's go to Logan Rockwitch.
Fuck yes, whoa.
Stark fucking turn. Hard left.
Yeah.
This is a fucking dog leg, man.
Yeah. This is fucking great.
Yes.
I fell in love with this song the first time I heard it. But go ahead, Paul.
No. It's such a silly song. He's a very. I feel like he's a very silly individual, and some songs really showcase that. This is one of those songs that it's signature silliness, but I feel like if I had a few kid toys and some time, I could probably create a cover of this song. It doesn't feel like it feels like some of that Jimmy Fallon and the band with a bunch of kids toys made in the room.
Yes.
Or something, it's just so silly and but there's not a lot that you can't love about it, And, I don't know. I really enjoy this. So
I've got a story for this song, and then I'll tell you what I think of the song. So a friend of mine a few years ago was playing on one of the music programs, and she was playing with things, and she was she had no clue. She was just trying to play all the different instruments. Like, hey, Kyle, can you listen to this? So I was like, okay. I hear this, and there's the little coconut clapping, so whatever it is. I was Monty Python. So I was like, she was like, so what do you think of? I said, this is an Aphex Twin song. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, come listen to Logan Rockwitch. And she listened to it, and it basically, what she was doing was half of that song, just without some of the other instruments in it. She's like, holy shit. I said, yeah. Nice. So you're halfway to make an Aphex Twin song. It's fantastic. So, but the way I describe this song is picture Pee Wee Herman dressed up as a cowboy.
I'm there already.
Riding to Dracula's castle. Just like how he'd be bouncing around in the cow and on the horse and all that, but going to see Bela Lugosi. Because that organ music, the way that comes in and gives that feeling of dread, along with this, this slap happy feeling. So I feel that's the way to kind of offset the two polar opposites going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have another point that I was on my notes. Like, it's kind of the opposite of the girl boy song, in that like this is a really good example of less is more.
Yeah,
which is something that he doesn't do a lot, as you can tell throughout this album. Like, he actually like kind of scales it back a little bit in this song, and I think that's part of what makes it great.
Oh yeah.
So this song, man, it's goofy as fuck. Like, the motherfucker,
I love it. It's so
the motherfucker uses the goddamn slide whistle. Like, nobody fucking does that. But there's a bomb ass organ on the backtrack of it. And
oh yeah.
Like, I love that. But what this song fucking made me think of was taking a walkabout in the Australian outback, and I don't fucking know why, but I just, like, every time I hear this song, I want to scream didgeridoo in, like, the most racist Australian accent possible. Like, I fucking love this. I absolutely love this song.
Are you talking about the Aphex Twin song, Didgeridoo?
No, I'm talking about this song.
No, yeah.
There is a didgeridoo song.
Yeah, there is a didgeridoo song.
I wouldn't know that.
I thought that's so coincidental you mentioned that.
I just want to scream, like, play that fucking didgeridoo, like, in a extremely racist Australian accent when I hear this song. For some reason, it just makes me think of, like, this song fucking makes me think of, like, Crocodile Dundee. Like, I don't know why, but it just does. It's so fucking goofy. And I love everything about it.
And that's what this song is. It's very visual. You can, like I said, you picture something. I picture something very particular.
Yeah.
Like I said, because of that organ background, like I need something with dress. Like, going to Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
I mean, a dopey ass cowboy riding on a fucking horse going to Dracula's castle. Because I need something to balance those two things out. So, like I said,
No, I fucking love the Pee Wee Herman thing. That's fan-goddamn-tastic.
Yeah, no, that's a really good visual for this song. I get it, yeah.
God damn it, Kyle. I did it once, and you had to fucking do it twice.
It's Mechalika High, Mecha Heiny slide whistle.
But the thing is, both you two chuckle fucks did it to me. You, Andrew and Kyle, both did that to me. Because when I think of this song, I think of Dingo Ate My Baby and it's Vampire Hunter D going to the fucking,
That's exactly fucking right, dude.
That's literally what I wrote down, and you two chuckle fucks stole that from me again.
See, there's a vampire theme to that organ, so yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the Vampire Hunter D, like when he goes to the fucking, like, the big boss's castle.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's goofy and like Dingo Ate My Baby.
I was a goddamn cunt hair away from mentioning Dingo Ate My Baby, and then I said Crocodile Dundee instead. Like, it's just, man, it's absurd in the best way possible, and like, I don't know, this is a fantastic song.
This song, honestly, I fucking hate this song so much. I hate it so much. Just because I really do. Because, like, it's like, I don't know, it's the same thing like what Primus does to me.
Yeah.
Like how amazingly, like, good artists they are, and they fuck up a song, and they just do stupid shit. I'm like, dog, why are you doing dumb shit? You're so good. So like literally coming off of Yellow Calyx and then the boy girl song, and this fucking stupid shit with Panda. I'm like, God damn it, like, why the fuck are you gonna end this album that way?
Dude,
man, like,
I'm just saying, every time I'm listening to this album, when this song comes on, there's an instant smile on my face.
Well,
like your fucking ears perk up and shit.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, this is how they end the album technically.
Right.
Technically.
If you're in Europe.
This is not the American version.
But I own the American version, so to me, this was just another song along the way.
Right.
That's for sure. Same. Yeah. Same thing here. Yeah.
Because then
for sure, it just, it just fucking like it just man I why did you after Gold like you have this turd that comes out what the fuck?
Oh, this is far from a turd.
Hearing you say that, like, I fucking love that you hate this. It makes me love the song that much more.
So much.
It makes me love the song that much more.
And the fact that you said, I love this song, this is my, like, of course it fucking is.
Yeah, dude.
Of course it is.
Dude.
God damn it.
Yeah, dude. It makes me like the song even more that you fucking hate it.
I know.
I love it.
I know. When you said you love it, I was like, he's fucking twisting the knife and he doesn't even know.
It makes me so goddamn happy, dude. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I love it too, but you're right, it is such a stark contrast from the two that came before it, so, but I think it's what I love is that he's going so many different directions, but so many of them work for me, so they
I'm not saying this song doesn't work, I'm not saying that it's not a good song, just, damn, dog, like, damn, dog, like, put that shit in the middle, like, don't put it, like, after your, like, magnus opus, you know what I mean?
This should have been, like, track 4 or 5 and then end on Yellow Calyx and
I think this is perfect. I think this is perfect to end the album on. I really do. Like, just to fucking, like, man, it's just, he comes straight out of left field with it and just knocks you out, and then if at least for the non-US version, like for the UK version, and then it's just over, and you're like, wait, what the fuck was that?
What just happened?
Yeah, it's like, it's like the end of a dream where you're just like, wait, did I just forget everything? Like, I love it. I think it's the perfect way to end the album.
It's almost like,
however, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, no, you go ahead. I don't want to piss on anything else that you.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that feeds into the fact that this dude is a troll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is like,
bar none. Yeah,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
and a perfect way to explain it, another way to explain it is because of those coconuts clapping together. It's like the way that Monty Python the Holy Grail trolls us at the end of the movie. It's fitting that that coconut fucking sounds and all of that be the end that trolls us on this album too.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, exactly.
So one troll end begets another.
So speaking of Python, this is a personal question for Paul. Do you ever use Python, and if you do you comment Monty Python quotes?
Yeah, actually, Python's one of my favorite programming languages.
Okay.
And it's funny, like, I really enjoy it. It's also funny because it's actually named after Monty Python and not the snake.
Yes. I know. That's an obscure fact.
So there's a lot of,
That's awesome.
So like there's a lot of little Easter eggs like built in, to the language, that kind of poke fun at itself a little bit, but, I don't know, I use it quite a bit actually,
Good.
Well, it's Python, but are there some that call him Tim?
Oh shit.
I had to ask.
No, yeah.
Alright, so are we doing the US version? You want to keep going and knock the other ones out?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
What are the other ones
so,
for y'all?
let's go into Milkman.
Alright, let's do that.
The only other song with words.
No,
one of three, I'm sorry.
So.
Well, with actual lyrics, I should say. Not words,
Right.
lyrics.
With lyrics. So,
Yeah.
With Milkman, I think we have to award this song, the line of the album. Like, that's something we do, you know, like,
Definitely.
right. I want milk from the Milkman's wife's tits, right?
Wife's tits, yep.
That's gotta be the line of the album for this thing, cause it's so lyric sparse.
Yeah.
But that's the best goddamn line is talking about the milkman's wife's tits. And just like that kind of creepy attitude towards it reminded me of A Clockwork Orange.
Oh my gosh, yes, like Malcolm McDowell would be singing that while he was like,
oh wow,
well, he was like hitting a woman in the face with a ceramic dildo.
Yeah, instead of
right.
of doing like in the new reboot, they should do fucking like instead of singing the rain, he needs to be singing the Milkman song.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh, I just picture now. Oh god, I'm getting too visual with it. I'm picturing like her rammed through a table somehow. And just her tits, like, went through the table, and, like, one of the dudes, like, milking her under the fucking table. Yeah. Milking her tits.
I mean...
While another dude's, like, bashing her in the ass with, like, some weird dildo-type object, though. Exactly. So, I mean...
Weird ceramic dildo, yeah.
It's not like the original wasn't weird enough already. So, it's like, am I really going that much farther out there?
So, that's where I went with this.
Fuck you, Polanski. I'm gonna get fucking crazy.
No, the woman has to be at least 18, so it's different than Polanski.
Of course.
Depends on what state you're in.
Yeah.
Hold on. But yeah, Milkman's fun. I like I like how he plays with, like in the middle, he adjusts so much. Like, as far as like, not only the pitch and tune, but the spreading of the sound.
Yes.
I don't know I don't know music terms and stuff. Yeah. But it's fun because it kind of deteriorates in the center. Like it's like normal, kind of.
Yeah, and
like
his voice starts like kind of wobbling a bit. It's like,
like it bleeds upward and downward, like as far as the vox goes, and then it kind of comes back again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It like the harmony, like, I don't know the harmony, but part of the melody almost feels like going back to Finger Bib, where it has a really happy, pleasant, like the movie Pleasantville harmony to it. And then all of a sudden that little
like
inside
shit,
then that little inner demon kind of comes out. Wanting the milk from the Milkman's wife's tits. Like, there's the real truth behind it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it started, like, the first lyric was that, I wish the milkman would deliver the milk or something.
Right,
you know, like, and it's like all super nice and but then like it gets to the wife's tits and you're like, what? You know?
Oh yeah. Like you can picture like a black and white scenery with a milk truck driving along, all sorts of happy. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like Andrew's mention that it is kind of Clockwork Orangey where it does kind of delve into that mental darkness kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the devious side of it.
No, absolutely.
Which I think is appropriate because that's kind of the point of the song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else about Milkman?
No, I love it because you don't really hear him sing very often on his tracks, but of the tracks that he sings on, this is probably one of, if not my favorite, but there's not too many of those, so.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well let's go into Inky Dollar Sign?
Yeah.
Inkies?
To be honest, this is the most forgettable one to me.
Yeah, so the title again is another basic command. Basically, you as you might guess, and maybe it makes more sense in hindsight. The command is to read a single input character from the keyboard. So you're reading a key, in key, you know.
Right. So dollar sign.
I'm not sure.
Right. Okay.
Why you chose that?
I actually figured that's how it's pronounced in keys. Like it was trying to say that.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you're reading a keyboard input. Yeah.
We lost you.
This is so I mentioned a while ago. I actually had in my notes like my little soliloquy about the noise tracks or the show off tracks that he throws in every once in a while. And to me, this is like completely one of those. Like, hey, look how cool and technical I can get, but like overall, like you can kind of skip it, you know. That's how I feel about this song.
Yeah, I just it's for me it's the peace song, and luckily it's only like a minute.
Peace song, like whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it shows off some technical skill, but it's otherwise kind of skippable, and that's it's there. I'm glad you're here to explain things because I'm ignorant as fuck.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I just know like on a lot of his tracks, there's always that a lot of his albums, there's always that track that I'm like, I think I could skip this, and this is one of those, so.
Yeah. That's like a minute and change. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's there.
Which is crazy, like, I'm talking about skipping it, and it's like a minute and change, like, that's,
I got so much to do with that minute in my life.
I know.
Yeah. But beyond that, not my favorite. Guys, y'all want to say anything about it?
It kind of had an almost industrial vibe about it, but it was just
your
okay.
favorite song?
Yeah. No. I
There's
mean,
only a minute 24 seconds.
Yeah.
It's got a hard beat in the background to it that I like, but I mean, I know we're talking about the second part of the album. I guess my brain is tied to two particular songs of those, and the other ones aren't as memorable to me as the two particular ones. The one we just discussed, and we'll discuss further.
Right.
For sure.
So.
Okay, well, fuck it then. Let's go on to Boy Girl, 18-pound snare rush mix.
Yeah.
Or Girl Boy, I'm sorry, Girl Boy. My bad. I don't remember this one a bunch.
Eh.
It feels like it's, cause it doesn't feel like it ties to the main song, and we've gone on about how great Girl Boy song is. It just feels like it's trying to be some weird Cliff Notes version of it, and it doesn't work.
I mean,
I didn't even see a connection between the first song.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Honestly.
I didn't either. If you like Snare Rush, this is probably good. I don't know, but I didn't find it either.
Yeah. The only thing I had really to say about the song is the intro. It's later reused on the Come to Daddy CD in the Little Lord Fauntleroy mix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where he's like looking at the swans and hearing the birds singing, watching the water flow past in the canal. Like that little part is used in a later track off of the Come to Daddy. But other than that, like it's a Snare Rush track. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of my notes other than that, so it's
okay.
No, but remind me to come back to the Come to Daddy album because I have a little thing I want to come to after we're done with this one. So.
Fucking go for it.
Okay. Yeah, just go for it.
No, I'll wait till after we're done with this. So.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to Beatles.
Yes. I love this tune.
You love this one?
I love this tune. In fact, I used to make little YouTube videos once upon a time, and one of the things I used to do was, I don't know why I did this, was just great moments in Nintendo history. Just me doing random shit in the video games. But the little intro song that I would do to build it in was actually Beatles from Aphex Twin, because I just love that kind of, I don't know, that gentle build into it, that nice little rhythm little sound that it had, and I guess it makes me think like if a somber version of Joe's Apartment, if anybody remembers that.
Oh, MTV's first movie.
Yes.
I saw it in theaters, yeah.
Yes, I did too, believe it or not. So, and no one else was in the theater.
It was a dog shit movie.
It was. Well, it was based off a little skit that they used to have on MTV a few years before that, but where all the Beatles and all the cockroaches come out, so, and everybody was around. So it's almost like instead of a cartoon, or not a cartoon, but a comedic version of it, it's a somber version of it. It's a very sad version, very lonely. Hey, these are my friends. This is all I have here. It's my Beatles. Almost like if Will Ferrell from Stranger Than Fiction lived in Joe's apartment, this would be the song. So,
Kyle, get the fuck out of my goddamn life. I just watched that movie like 2 days ago, and I fucking forgot how good it is.
Well,
oh my god.
Okay, then hopefully that resonated with you a little bit then.
That was creepy. That was kind of creepy. Good creepy, but fucking holy shit. That is Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah.
Man, this song to me is super unnerving. Like I physically don't feel good when I hear this song. Like I get super fucking freaked out.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, I have that in my notes too, like quiet, almost creepy, and kind of lo-fi, like it's, yeah.
Okay.
This is super unnerving to me. I honestly, when I hear this song, did you ever see A Scanner Darkly? The movie A Scanner Darkly?
That's an amazing movie and story, yeah.
with where the part where like Frick is freaking the fuck out and he wants to kill himself, and he has like the coke bugs and shit, like where he like tries to kill himself, where he drinks the wine and like takes all the fucking Ambien and shit, and like and then the monster comes out and reads him all his sins, and like all the bugs crawl up. Like, dude, that reminds me of that scene, and it is so fucking unnerving. Like, so I like that whole part of that book and that movie. Like, it just. I can't hang. I cannot hang with that. It creeps me right the fuck out. Like,
it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny you say that because I only have a couple of notes. Like, I mean, I wrote a line or less of notes for every song, right? So some of them are just a word. Like, okay, this song I wrote 3 words. One of them is the word odd because I thought this was an odd song.
Hey, that's on my notes.
The other 2 words were bouncy and bubbly. So for it to be creepy to Shane and bubbly to me is pretty goddamn perfect.
Yeah.
And it bumps it up on my roster just a little bit for that reason alone.
Well,
so in my notes I have that it's got, so like, one thing I like is it's got this kind of odd time signature to it.
Yes, thank you.
And it's like, it's almost like the time feels elastic in some ways. You know, like it's, like it's bouncy. Yeah, like it kind of changes. I feel like it's, you know, like, you know, like it's just I don't know, it's kind of weird and elastic the way the time signature changes throughout the song, I feel like.
Yeah.
What I think is going on is at the beginning of the song, there's like 2 slightly off-time rhythms that are happening at the same time while they're playing it, and that's what's causing that. It's like they're all, like you said, there's almost like this sort of bouncing off each other.
So it's almost like they sync up and then they desync and then they sync up kind of thing?
Maybe, but they're definitely desync just slightly. If you go back and like listen to it, it's 2 separate rhythms.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
That's what's causing part of that unsettling feeling.
It's almost like they're out of phase. Is that what you're getting at? Okay. So I think it's worth going back for a listen just for that, just to see if we can identify like that kind of phase shift, if you will. So,
yeah.
We might.
Y'all are all fucked up. Have you ever had a bug crawl on you? That's what this fucking song feels like.
Well, he captured that so well. And that's probably what he's trying to cause with that slightly off rhythm is something that is unsettling. Like your ears are trying, and your brain is trying to process it and push it together to one rhythm. And
it fucks with like your inner ear or some shit like that. I don't know. It makes me happy that it made Shane uncomfortable. That's all I have to say.
No, but if that makes you uncomfortable.
Motherfucker, you were happy that I had to listen to this because you thought I would hate it. Like, you're happy whenever you think I would hate an album. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
That's true. No, that's true. Yes. I am comfortable in you being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And vice versa, motherfucker. So welcome to your own goddamn hell.
That's kind of our relationship, nigga.
Yeah. And that's why I love you.
Exactly. But yeah, no, this...
Oh, no, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What I was going to say is if this making you uncomfortable, though, the song that I was thinking of, and I got a couple of album recommendations later on, but this was off one, is a 9 Inch Nails Beside You in Time. Like putting a pair of headphones on and listening to that song, and I kind of wonder how that would play with your head a little bit in terms of like this song kind of being unsettling. Just a thought, just like a random song to throw out.
Well, beside you in time?
Yeah, it's off With Teeth.
Fucking A.
I don't. So. Alright, I will check that out directly. Yeah. No, I just, this song creeped me right the fuck out. And I wanted to get out of my fucking car as soon as I could, 'cause it's like, nope. I've had bugs crawl on me. Don't like that fucking feeling. And that's what this song does.
Dude, man, so I don't know, one of the creepiest things I've ever had happen to me was, I woke up in the middle of the night, it's pitch black, and I felt something, fucking crawling on my face. And so I sweep it off, and I get up out of bed, cause now I'm thoroughly freaked the fuck out. And I turn on my light, and there's a goddamn tarantula sitting on the floor of my room, cause I swept it off my face. Yeah, dude, if you live in Texas, tarantulas and scorpions are just a thing. Like,
yup.
that motherfucker died, because I'm sorry, you don't crawl on my face and live to tell about it.
Live to tell about it,
Unless you're a real
yeah.
pretty lady. Unless you're a real pretty lady, then you can get up all on my face. But when it comes to bugs and shit, nah. No, homie. Nah.
Or a confused young. No, like, dog. Okay, so here's the thing about South Texas. We got a shitload of bugs, guys.
Yeah.
Like a shitload. A shitload.
Yeah, yeah.
And 9 out of 10 of them will fucking
Eat you.
are poisonous or venomous or whatever the fuck, and they will fuck you up.
Yeah.
There's been more than one time where I put a shoe on and there was a scorpion.
Right. Yeah. Like those
So,
little
like,
tiny
man, a bug-
translucent
yeah.
scorpions, man. Fuck those little things.
Or an asp or a yeah, no man, like, hell no. So anything creepy, like anything that feels like it's crawling on me, nah, it's gotta die. Cause it's probably trying to kill me too.
Yeah. And Texas is like mini Australia. Everything's trying to kill you, just it's a little smaller. Like, everything's bigger in Texas until you get to goddamn Australia.
Yeah. That's where the real nightmare animals are.
It's like the tutorial level, huh?
Yeah, man, yeah. it's that first stage of Mega Man X, like the teach you how to play the game.
Yeah.
The dog, like, that shit is really gonna kill you though, like, or, make you lame or something, like, oh, I can't use my toes for 2 weeks or some shit.
Right.
Like, it will fuck you up. Anyway, yeah, no, that's why I fucking hate beetles, man. It's super unnerving to me. Everything in Texas tries to kill me. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, we've
I
also
already got
got
enough
like,
problems, man.
we've also got like June bugs down there, and they're harmless.
But they fly right into your fucking face.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just stick in your fucking hair and you gotta
get
kill
those
them
Here too, those are
But
they're
they're
annoying.
fucking harmless. They're just annoying.
They are. They're annoying, but yeah, they are harmful.
We also have tarantula killers that are the size of June bugs, and they are goddamn wasps.
Yeah, but they don't fuck with people. Those things I'm okay with. It's
Until you, well,
it's regular wasps, like the fucking red hornets and like yellow jackets and shit. I fuck those. Those are just like fuck you machines. But the
true.
fucking
Those are just hate machines. Yeah.
yeah, but like dirt daubers are, dude, I'm fine with those guys.
No, not mud dobblers. Tarantula killers.
Aren't they like the same thing though? Because dirt daubers
Nope.
fucking, the reason they're called dirt daubers is because they get down in the dirt and they fucking kill ground animals like tarantulas.
Nah, man.
Alright, then we're thinking of two different animals. And maybe I just
Yeah.
haven't seen what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, they're about 8 inches
Oh!
long.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about a different thing.
Yeah, no, I'm talking
Yeah.
about tarantula killer. The
Yeah,
8-inch
no.
wasp.
Yeah, no. Those things can fuck right off. Alright, now,
Yeah.
okay. No, I got mixed up. No, I know what you're talking about now, and those things can fuck right off. But you don't see them very often. Or at least I did.
Oh, I see. And Mathis, they're all over the place.
Oh, no shit.
Well, since
Dog. Like, there's like 5. I've seen at least, honestly, I've seen 10 different ones.
You gotta watch your dogs.
Yup.
Well, since I don't plan on going to South Texas as a result of this, I don't plan on seeing any at all.
That's okay. The worst of the chupacabras.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Boy Girl, the last song in the album.
Oh,
Boy Girl Red Truth mix?
I
Red
thought
Ruth?
we didn't.
Red Ruth?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember this one at all.
Again, I don't remember. This is
Yeah, the only reason I have notes is because I made notes while listening to it. I like at the end of my notes, I put more or less a filler track. So
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I do like, so it starts with a simple loop and it kind of adds something on every loop for the first few loops. Then it starts dropping channels at random, like, or seemingly random, like it's one of those sort of tracks, but it's more or less the filler track and, I could take it or leave it. I do have a thing about it, like he sings a little song at the very end though, like after all the music stops.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like, I'm forever painting with plastic fingers. I'm forever floating when it in my cheese. I'm always frying up vegetables with cheese, if you please. So whatever that is. So But yeah,
That's there. That's there.
yeah. I mean, it's other ways a filler track though. I mean,
Yeah.
So-
I didn't. And again, I don't know how it relates to boy girl or girl boy. God damn it.
yeah.
Girl,
Oh
boy.
yeah. Yeah, and yeah. Again, like, and a lot of his songs like that are remixes from Emperor's song. He might take like one little beat or something and then like use that, but otherwise, like, you're right. I can't see any sort of connection. I'm sure there's some like samples that are shared in common, but I couldn't tell you what they are.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is one that until a year ago, I didn't know that there were two separate, the European and the US album. But now, especially hearing these girl boy remixes and looking at them in two separate albums, it's like, I think other than Milkman and Beatles, it's like, yeah, I can separate these out now. These do feel like they belong on a separate EP rather than a part of the album. So, like, I went back and heard it. I think I grabbed it one time and listened to it and went, okay. Like, I wasn't compelled to listen to it more times to even prep for this podcast because I didn't feel as compelled to it. So.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So.
I completely missed this one, so I'm out.
It's not bad. It's just kind of forgettable. It's a filler, you know.
There's nothing really. Yeah, again, there's nothing really. There's nothing about this song that really has anything worth outside of the weird poem thing, the weird poetry that he does at the end. There's nothing significant, I suppose.
Okay, well, anyway, that's the fucking end of the album. So you want to get into like?
But hold on, Before we go on, I've got to pee real bad.
Okay.
I mean, 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds.
All right, let's do that. All right.
You'll be back. Soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me.
Backstreet's back. All right.
No Hamilton fans. No. Fuck me.
No, I had to go back to.
I haven't had the pleasure of seeing it yet.
I have not either.
Dude, get it on it's on iTunes, man. Get it. It's fucking good.
All right.
So fucking good.
I have to check
My
it
daughter
out,
would have known it, so.
Dude, so good. So good. It's fucking phenomenal. Anyway.
All right. Well, so we've talked about this album, like, fucking A, what's everybody's, like, general consensus about the album itself?
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's, I mean, personally, I'd say it's my, it doesn't have my favorite Aphex Twin songs, but as a whole, I think it might be my favorite Aphex Twin album, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
It's more cohesive and, it's very accessible. I think I had mentioned, when we were talking about which album to do. It's a very accessible album. It's, some of my favorite songs aren't on it, obviously, but the albums that they're on aren't necessarily like the best albums as a whole. So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I weighed, like, when we were talking about doing this. I kind of was like, well, we can like just pick favorite songs and just talk about Aphex as a whole. But I like that we decided on this album because I completely agree, Paul, that this is the most concise album as far as Aphex Twin goes.
Yes.
Okay.
Without being like 5 fucking hours long. Ambient works, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like I was the hardest pusher for this album directly because this is my favorite and it's not even close. Because I love how accessible it is. I love how, just like you said, how concise it is. It's 15 tracks, 45 minutes. You can get through it. You can hear kind of the basics and the highlights of what Aphex Twin sort of is. And like you said, you can introduce it to other people through this. And then if they want to expand themselves, then they can go back to select the ambient works. They can go to Drux or Ciro. They can go to other things. But I think this is a great introductory album. This is a great way to just bring fans on board and not overwhelm them. Or not force them to listen to these 10-minute drawn-out tracks that take 7 minutes to get to where it needs to go.
Right, well said.
For sure. Like I said, I mentioned Stoned and Focused earlier, and man, good song, but god damn, it's this just monotonous metronome that goes on for like in 10 minutes. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it, it's good, but goddamn, like, unless you're going to sleep, don't sleep.
Right.
But, well, since we're on the topic of different, Aphex Twin albums, do y'all want to talk about some other songs that aren't on this album that you like? Like your favorite, like Paul, you were saying, one of your favorite, what's like your favorite songs that aren't on this album?
So I mentioned Drux. Vert Husband is probably my favorite, Aphex Twin song, and that's, on Drux. And Drux actually has a lot of really good songs on it. So it's, we mentioned April 14th, Mount St. Michael and St. Michael's Mountain. The playlist.
That one!
Yeah,
okay.
That one's really good. There's a lot of really good ones.
Before you move on, that music video of St. Michael's, have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh man, they used to have, okay, I'm gonna date myself. At Blockbuster, they used to have these, like best of music video directors.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was, it was the director of that video. It was Michael something. Oh, I can't remember.
Huh.
But, what he was known for was building machines. Like different, like machines for the music videos. And what he built for St. Michael's was an 8-arm drumming monkey.
And that's something I can get behind.
I want to watch this now.
And it looks like, those little drumming monkey, like that has a symbol?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that head on top of something that has like 8 arms.
I bet
and it's like doing all the like all the different drums. But the funniest part of that video is that there's a drumstick right where his dick should be.
Yeah.
It's like where it's like, and it's like his eyes light up and it looks like he's coming and it's like it's just like
yes. That's
fucking tastic.
That if I worked in Hollywood, that's the kind of work I fucking want.
Aphex Twin.
Okay.
Aphex Twin totally missed out calling that St. Michael instead of St. Peter in that case.
Okay, I do see this video now, and I know exactly. Oh man, this is great.
The drumming, like,
yeah, like obviously I'm not listening to it, but just seeing like the visual of it is just amazing.
And to make that shit 2019 appropriate, I'd give that monkey a big fat ass and have it twerk for like a good like 20 seconds too.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Paul. I would have totally forgotten that.
But yeah, Drux in general, like, there's a lot of really good stuff on it. But it's a double album though, so there's a lot of if you're not like into Aphex Twin, like like there's a lot of stuff that might be a little grating too. So there's 2 albums worth of stuff, and there's like some nice soft like like April 14th piano stuff, and then there's some more normal, and there's some like show off tracks, and it just kind of goes. It runs the gambit, and
I think that's what
for
was
the longest.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was gonna say for the longest time that was probably my one of my favorite albums, just because of it has so much different stuff. I'd listen to it a lot. But
see, and I think I just keep cutting you off.
Yeah, that came out in 2001. I think the next album after that might have been Cyro, actually. Zero.
Yeah, because he did take a bit break. He did take a break, didn't he, for like a while?
Yeah, that was like 13 years later, I think. So.
Yeah.
See, and Drux, I bought that album, that Drux. I actually bought that like the week it came out in 2001. But I think I suffered from exactly, there were so many different tracks on there, and it was hard for me to kind of digest them all, that I actually had a little bit of, it was just, I don't know what it was, but because there were so many different tracks and so many different things going on with it, I couldn't digest it the way I wanted it to, and I actually had a bit where I wasn't listening to the Aphex Twin because of that. So it's not that it was a bad album at all, it was just that it really was like...
There's a lot.
Yeah, that thing, when I bought it, it's like, oh my god, it's
not
double
really
album.
Focused either.
Yeah. And because I bought it, it's like, oh my god, 30-some Aphex Twin tracks is fucking amazing. Then all of a sudden I went, oh, this is actually too much.
Yeah, like it's not focused, and so that's why I wouldn't say it's my favorite because like I said, I think RDJ is a better album as a whole, but some of my favorite songs are on that. And likewise, Cyro or Ciro, however you pronounce it, like has a few good songs on it, like that I really really like. But then there's other tracks that I'm like, I could skip that, you know.
Oh,
so like it's
Yes,
I don't.
That album is kind of polarizing as far as like, as an Aphex Twin fan, it is kind of polarizing for me. I did like, I like a couple of songs. It was just not, I don't know, it was kind of, it's like the idea of Sex and Pizza. When it's good, it's really good. Okay. But when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But
that was it. Like
there were some that were, yeah, for sure. I get
it. Are
it.
you talking about Cyro or?
Yeah, Cyro. And then
So I mean, the thing about that is like there was also that huge gap. So when it came out, like it was like, oh, new Aphex Twin, and we haven't seen anything in over a decade. You know, so like it was kind of like like anything is gravy, right? But there's a few good tracks on it. Like I can. Like I'm looking at, there's about 4 tracks like I'll skip around and listen to, but the rest are kind of like, like maybe I've grown as like a listener or just have different priorities. I don't know, but there's it's not as strong of an album, I guess, for being his first in that long.
For sure, and I honestly I think Cheetah is a better album, the newer one that he came out with.
Yeah, Cheetah's really good. Album. Yeah, it's more focused. Like it feels like it is cohesive. I guess like it's all around the sound while at the same time being a collection of songs that are distinct enough from one another while having that same feel to them.
Yeah. I would say the word honed. Yeah, I think it's more honed as an album. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but Kyle, how about any songs that we missed talking about that you want to bring up as far as Aphex Twin goes?
2 of them, and funny enough, where you talked about the didgeridoo, it's actually one of my favorite tracks from him. The way that it builds and the way that it feels like that could have been someone's song that they used as a track for singing over it. Like, where someone's background track for, like, he was building that for someone to put lyrics on top of it, I felt like.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing track. The other one that I like, and actually this is going to go into funny enough, into the other album I would have requested you guys to do, if not this one, which was Placebo's Without You I'm Nothing, one of my other favorite albums. But it ties into one of my other favorite Aphex Twin songs, which is Funny Little Man. I don't know if you know the end of this song.
Yeah.
Funny Little Man?
I love Funny Little Man.
But at the end of it, it's like, I would like to fuck you up the bunghole, and then I will sneak into your room and cut your cock off and stuff it in my
chew them up with
my little pearlies. That is at the end of the hidden track Evil Dildo at the end of the Placebo album, Without You I'm Nothing. So when I was listening to that, which, like I said, that became one of my favorite albums as well. So when I heard the end of that song, I was like, you're fucking kidding me! 2 of my favorite things are tied together like this? So, but like I said, that, funny enough, actually would have been the other album I requested, if not for the Aphex Twin stuff, was Placebo's Without You I'm Nothing. So that's a future thing to think about. But and the way they tie them together.
So
all I'm hearing is you're going to come back for a Placebo.
If you guys did that album, I will fucking absolutely be here because I will break that down track by track.
So it sounds to me like the line of the album is from a different album.
But I love the song Funny Little Man itself, the way it's very ambient, very kind of low key.
Yeah.
The fact that
to be fair, I mean, like, Come to Daddy, which is the album that song, like, it has a lot of, like, again, a lot more singing, which is not usual for Aphex Twin. So I don't, like, it might be the line of the album, but there's a lot of good lines on that album. So.
No, but even when it's coming in, it's got that Cartman sound.
Yeah.
So,
come on, funny man, come on.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That fucking makes me think of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song, the Little Green Man.
Unfortunately, I don't know that song, so.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Nope. You're on par.
Okay.
Not quite there, but it's.
I mean, you say Little Man, that's just kind of where my head goes, cause I'm far more a Chili Peppers song, fan than I am a band that I heard of when y'all recommended it.
Right on.
That's fair, yeah.
Alright.
So I don't know. This was an interesting album, and I'm glad I got to experience it. It's not, if I'm being honest, it's not something that's going to carry over into my day-to-day life. It's probably not going to make my Spotify playlist. But I understand the
it's
appeal.
gonna fuck your Spotify list up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's totally fine. My Spotify playlist is, dog, I fucking gave my Spotify login to my girlfriend, and so on top of doing this list, doing the side albums and whatever the fuck she's listening to, like the weird French shit that she listens to.
Oh yeah.
Dog, like my Spotify is so fucked. It's beyond repair. There's no repairing my Spotify ever. Ever. So like, but getting back, let's rope this fucking thing back in.
All right.
And hogtie this bitch.
Alright,
I thought this was interesting. And I appreciate the recommendation. And so I'm glad that you guys brought it to us.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to record this with us. I know it's gone long.
This was fun. Yeah. This was amazing. This was a great experience. So
this is fucking like best recording. The recording quality might be dog shit, but doing this is like
we
fun
had
as
a little
fuck.
issues at the beginning, but I think we worked through it. And
It only took 30 minutes to troubleshoot, and y'all's audio only dropped out a couple of times, which means we didn't hear it, but Audacity sure as fuck did. So I'll hear it when I edit.
yeah.
Fine. It's fine.
That's one of those things that like used to happen to Shane and I all the time.
Oh god, the Elliott Smith episode, yeah.
Yeah. So we're back to that setup, but because that's the only thing that works.
It wasn't a shit show that it was.
Right. It took us 30 minutes to
Any
get
good
here,
album
but
we try to record, because every good album is a fucking shit show to record. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
no problem. It's fucking shitty. Oh fuck no! Anything worth the fuck? Elton John? Hell no. Hell no.
So now we use it. So I don't know. There's shit that's got to be tidied up, but again, fucking thank you guys. Like,
thank you.
yeah, no.
this
Thanks for
great.
having me on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And like I said, anytime you guys want to come back, Kyle and Paul, you want to come back for Placebo?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure can.
I don't know as much about Placebo actually. So.
Okay,
but I'll tell you what, if you ever do anything by that Mike Patton was a part of, I would probably be able to talk at length about it.
We can do that.
Which includes like Faith No More,
Faith No More I could do. His other stuff I couldn't do as much.
So I'm gonna tell you guys how to make that happen. You go on to Facebook and you request that, and then we'll invite you back to record the thing that you requested.
All right.
Okay, Paul Pig, you request Paul, you request the other stuff from Mike Patton, and I will throw in Angel Dust from Faith No More.
Okay.
Oh, Angel Dust is pretty good, yeah.
That's, to me, is one of my all-time favorite albums. So.
I would go like Mr. Bungle's California. But
Come on, man! Paul!
Yes.
Man,
all their albums are amazing, but I would go with California.
Alright, so Paul, if you would please request that, then we can set that up for the next time we do.
I would
we have
definitely do that.
You go Mr. Bungle, I'll go Angel Dust, and I think we can make a hell of a...
May I, have you guys heard of Lovage?
Fuck yes.
Yes.
We've talked about this before, I feel like. Maybe on one of Dave's streams.
Yes, we have.
I love the Lovage, baby.
Yes. Mike Patton is...
It's the girl from Elysian Fields, which I wouldn't know of except for Lovitch, but it's very very well done.
Yeah,
and also Dan the Automator.
Dan the Automator! Thank you!
Yes.
Yeah, Dan the Automator who does fucking, like, oh god, I can't think of words now. Glass Jaw? No,
Self-employed modeling school,
Handsome Boy Modeling School.
This way they teach you what fork to use for salad and what fork to use for soup or whatever. Alright guys, I hate to get us back on track, but we got a couple more things to do. Let's start with
we gotta do
top three. Yeah.
So arbitrarily, Kyle, what's your top three?
Oh crap! I need to look at the list.
Okay,
number three.
Paul, it's your turn. Andrew.
Let's see.
Let's go.
Number 3 is Logan Rockwitch.
Okay.
Number 2 is 4.
All right.
And number 1, I think I've made that perfectly clear. Yellow Calyx.
Calyx.
Fucking amazing.
For sure.
And number 4 would have been Girl Boy Song. Like I said, I love that song too, but that's just individually.
Okay.
How it falls in. Right on. Alright, Paul. What you got,
see, I don't know if I have a particular order of these, but Finger Bib is definitely on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Milkman, mostly because you don't get to hear him sing very often, but it's not that it's like it's just one of my personal favorites. And then, the third one is kind of a tie between, Girl Boy Song and the Yellow Calyx, and I don't know if I could choose. But that's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
Shane,
the hardest thing to ever do is to choose your number 3.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right?
And we do appreciate it. Shane, next time you're choking on a dick, can you move away from the microphone?
I was trying. God damn.
All right.
So thick.
So what are your? All right. So now that you've got the center of attention, what are your top goddamn 3?
So my number 3 is gonna be number 4. Is gonna be 4. I think that's a great opening to the album. It has a good flow and everything. My number 2 is gonna be Milkman because I love how he plays with it's a solid start, solid finish, but he plays with the just the tunes and tweaking everything in the middle. It's fun. Yeah, and then also mostly that got bumped up because of your comment to A Clockwork Orange, Andrew.
Okay.
And then no, I mean seriously, that's It was not even on the spectrum until you said Clockwork Orange. Like, oh fuck, that has to be like holy shit. And then of course number 1 for me, I've gushed about it. It's the Girl Boy Song.
Okay.
All right, Andrew. You?
So I guess I'm last. Number 3 is gonna be man, I hate to do this. I hate to be a little bitch, but number 3 is a tie. Between Milkman and Finger Bib. The reason I say this is, I listened to the Spotify version of this album, all goddamn week. So, I only spent like a day with the American album with like Inky Dollar Sign and Beatles and Milkman.
Sure, yeah.
But Milkman just like, come on man. Like Shane said when I said the Clockwork Orange shit, like that came to my head fucking immediately. So it jammed its fucking fist right up in there.
Yeah. Michael McDowell's stupid face.
Yeah.
All day.
Eyelashes on one eye.
Exactly.
So it's gonna just jam its way into my top 3 and tie with Finger Bib because I fucking love
like
that song.
Big dildo.
Yeah. Like that big fucking dragon cock dildo. So it's gonna jam its way up there with Finger Bib for number 3. Number 2 is Goon Goompas. I love Goon Goompas. I fucking love that Christmassy melody. It's
a good one, yeah.
It just fucking eats my heart, like, every time. It's great.
You didn't say Goombas, so that threw me off.
Right. And my number 1, of course, 1,000 times yes, is Logan Rockwitch. Yeah. Dude, it just, that fucking, hearing you reference Dingo Ate My Baby, it solidified it 1,000 times in my mind, cause all I was thinking was the goddamn Crocodile Dundee. Like, that's not a knife, this is annoying. Like, fuck, dude, all I could think about was that just the most bullshit Australian, like, Red Hot Chili Peppers does a walkabout song, and it made me think of that. Like, it's just happy thoughts over and over and over again. And then when it pisses off Shane, it's even better. So, like, I don't know. This is my song of the album, and everybody should love this. It's amazing.
Fucking Pratt. God damn it.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Go listen to this fucking album. That's why I gotta say.
That wasn't my number one.
Yeah.
That wasn't my number one until I heard Shane's analysis of it.
Pitch and moan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got one other thing to take care of. Let's go with Kyle. Out of 10, where do you rate this album?
9.7.
Fucking A.
I mean,
Damn.
it's amazing how a little $2 clearance album buy from a pawn shop that wasn't even there 6 months later, I'm getting to talk about this album 20 years after that. Because it made such an impact on my life. It made such an impact on my listening preferences. And even the songs that feel slightly filler, like I said, most of them are hidden towards the end, and they weren't even technically supposed to be there. But the songs that hit hard, god damn, they're so good, and they just bring me in. I mean, this is, like, if I'm taking the top 5 favorite albums, like, whatever, this is somewhere between 4 and 5. I mean, this is in my all-time top 5, so.
Fucking A, man. All right.
Right on, man.
That's where we're at. Fucking Paul Pig, let's hear it. Out of 10.
Yeah, I'm not gonna split it up. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. I mean, 9 is.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Aphex Twin is one of my favorite bands. He's one guy, but you know it's.
Exactly.
So like this is a really, really like probably the best introduction to what he's all about. If I were to tell somebody you need to check out Aphex Twin, I would point them to this album.
Okay.
So, yeah, 9. Yep.
Shane?
Oh, I'm 875 for sure.
God damn.
Fantastic. Like this album is fucking fantastic. He is like I said, he's a goddamn amazing composer who happens to be an artist. Who happens to be a software engineer or fucking hardware, a computer guy. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
He does all the things, and then like he's weird on top.
He's a maker.
And
he's a fucking
yeah.
maker.
And the thing is, I don't know how to quantify why it's good or qualify why it's good, or I don't tell you why it's good, but it's moving.
Okay.
For me, it's very mood setting.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's fucking phenomenal. He's a goddamn artist. That's all.
All right.
All right, Andrew.
Oh man, I
2.
I feel real bad about being last.
Yeah.
I should have fucking gone first.
Don't fuck this up for us.
No,
You should have saw this coming.
I should have saw this coming. I didn't realize.
Illusions.
I mean, I knew everybody liked this album. I didn't realize everybody's going to be a 9 or above. Oh man.
No, I appreciate your perspective because you haven't.
Yeah.
And this is kind of your introduction. So as far as listening to different music that we've done, I'd like your genuine view of what you feel about this.
Okay, so it's going to be hard to give this a number because from the start of this, I've fucked up the numbers royally. So I'm going to say, well, what I'm getting at is like this is better than Kanye for me. But I gave Kanye a higher score than I really want to give this album because I was too goddamn nice. This is so for me. This is like, man, this is average. This is okay. Like
average.
This is not. For context, Kyle just took his headphones off and walked away. I'm with you. I don't. Man,
you're dead to me, can opener.
Yeah. He gave me that kind of thing. I have enjoyed
putting gas on my grass and writing "fuck you" and lighting it on fire.
I've enjoyed other DJs more, but mostly because of Molly, right? So like, I'm gonna say, man, and this is I feel bad about saying this, but I'm gonna say 7.
Oh, okay. That's actually okay.
That's okay.
That's the number I thought was
That's fair. Like,
I mean, y'all, all
That's
y'all's,
fair.
the
That's fair.
fun of this episode and all y'all's fanboyship gave it an extra point, if we're being honest. I went into this episode at a hard 6, and like, this conversation boosted it off.
We sold you to a 7. I'm okay with that.
yeah, hey, I mean, that's all I can hope for, you know?
But I have to say,
and like,
I have to say, like, I appreciate this from a talent perspective. Like, it's not up there on my list. I'm not gonna listen to this. But I appreciate this, in the same way that, like, I appreciate Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
Because the dude does something different and does something that's totally unique. And hearing about, like, he makes his own goddamn hardware? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's a dude that makes his own fucking plate reverb. Are you out of your mind? Like, it's insanity. And
He really
get
does,
it.
Brack.
Yeah. And I get it, because I make my own goddamn guitars. Like, I can buy a guitar that's as good as what I can build for the same price. And it costs me 0 labor. I can. But I get it. Like, I fucking get his passion. And that, to me, is... I may not like this album very much, but I understand his primal, like, need to create. And
I feel like respect.
Yeah, respect is at a
respect.
fucking 10.
And
Like,
that's,
I love this man as far as respect goes. And maybe I should bump it up to an 8 because of the goddamn album cover. I fucking love the album cover. God damn,
Right?
dude. This,
so fucking creepy.
Yes, it is. I love it.
So fucking creepy.
I love the creepy album cover. Dude, it's
like, it's not an album cover that says, buy me, you know?
So, the same goddamn running joke between our podcast of, like, well, if there's a rape song, Andrew's gonna love it. It's the same thing with this album art. I fucking love how creepy it is. It just, like, I'm comfortable with awkward, and that's what this album makes me feel.
And Andrew, that face on the album art, that's every face in every body's person in any of his music videos.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
of course
for
it
real.
is.
Fucking awesome.
Well, it's because he's doing that weird, like, look up through his eyelids thing that, like, the Joker does. And it's fucking perfect. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So let's call it an 8 for that. I appreciate the goddamn artist more than I appreciate his music. I'm not a fan of his music. I'll make that clear.
And that's fun.
But
and that's fun. That's fun. It's just, I'm glad that you understand the gravity of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he made all of the things.
Like, the music
like, literally
for me,
made all of the things.
the music for me is like a fucking 5, but the artistry, the fucking ganas on this man is fucking 10.
And I'm so glad that we did this album versus, like, I Care Because You Do, or Drux, or even Cyro Zero, because those would have just worn you the fuck out, and you would have said, I'm done.
Probably, yeah.
This
I totally agree.
was so much more palatable.
Don't get me wrong.
Palatable.
Peter Patamas?
This is so much more easy to digest. God damn it.
God damn it. I really appreciate you guys pulling us in on an album that's full of short songs, because I agree with you. Like, if you had given me an album that was full of, like, 10-minute songs, I would have, maybe it would have been great background music, but maybe I would have been done with it after a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, drugs, like, and I don't see you sitting through 2.5 hours of Aphex Twin.
Yeah, I mean, I love drugs, but I wouldn't subject that to somebody who hasn't listened to at least one full Aphex Twin album before that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's
some casual, Andrews.
You're not gonna,
and I love Zappa too. You know, like it's
but you're
it's the
not
same
gonna
thing with
introduce
Zappa.
somebody.
Like,
You're gonna introduce them to Joe's Garage. You're not gonna introduce.
yeah,
them
that's
to
what I was about to say. Joe's Garage is where I would start. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
you know, and
yeah, that's the album we plan on doing when we get there. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh no, I understand.
yeah. To be fair, that's how I got started on Frank Zappa.
Me
You know,
too.
it's like I listened to that. I'm like, wow, this is really. And it was funny. He's not even the main singer on that album.
I know it's fucking dude. We'll
Like
get
he
there.
had like a injury to his vocal cords, so he actually dropped an octave or something like that. So
Yeah,
he's the central computer, right?
Scrutinizer, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be on that album.
Yeah.
100%. You're coming back for that. Like,
I have no problem. I love Frank Zappa. So
Sorry.
you know, I mentioned Mike Patton. Like he's kind of like the modern Frank Zappa. Like he's doesn't take lyrics seriously, but he takes his music seriously.
yeah,
You
man,
know, and
okay.
I think that's
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll get there. You're coming back for Frank Zappa because that's the album I want to do. And
yeah. I love that album. It's,
me too.
Half the
And I'm-
Girls and Joe's Garage and
Yes.
what's the toilet seat song? Like,
Yes!
I mean,
Fucking
oh,
Light
God.
It Hurt My Pee. God damn it. I fucking love you, Paul.
Oh, I love that.
The song about Scientology and like, dude, there's so much good there. All right, well, we'll get there.
There's
We'll
so
get there.
much. Yeah, no, I would definitely come back for that. Yeah.
All right, good.
Good, because I'll be the Andrew that shits all over on that.
Oh yeah. From an outsider's perspective, this is awful. It's so bad, but it's so good. Like, there's fucking Cruise Slut on that thing. Oh man.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Oh dude, it's so good. There's nothing about that album that I hate. It's so good.
I can't wait to give it a 3. Fine.
Yeah.
See, I don't know Joe's Garage, but I know Chic Your Booty and You Are What You Is. So those
Okay,
would have been
Chic Your
mine.
Booty's
You Are
pretty
What
good
You Is
too.
is
Yeah.
awesome too. There's
Yeah.
man.
I think that's another great album. So.
There's a great fucking quote from one of the songs on You Are What You Is, and it's there's a big difference between bending down there's a big difference between being on your knees and bending over. And
What
that's
song
from
is that
a song on You Are What You Is, the album. That's from a song called Heavenly Treasures, I think.
Okay, it's probably one of the ones I don't listen to as much as well.
It's fucking great. But You Are What You Is a great song too. Anyway, we're venturing off into Zappa territory.
Yeah.
We'll get both of you
Stay tuned, dear
motherfuckers on.
listener.
I'd have to listen to Joe's Garage to get caught up on that one, but
It's so good.
if we,
Yeah.
so
It's a
Paul
double album, so
Paul
it's-
can handle that one, but
Dog,
Yeah.
you ever get to Placebo, that's
Joe's Garage is a double album, so it's real fucking long.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like 20 songs long. It's so fucking long. It's hard to listen to, but it's not. It's the easiest Frank Zappa album to listen to.
okay.
Just like this
Yeah.
is the easiest Aphex Twin album to listen to. Which is why I
Do you
make
listen
the
to it or do you
analogy.
listen?
You listen to it.
Is that right, Ren?
Yeah, go fuck
You
yourself.
idiot!
I like the Ren and Stimpy reference. Yeah, thank you. So, fuck. Alright. Well,
Anybody? Alright, guys, so
final thoughts.
thoughts
I'll let someone else go.
outside of just listen to this album because
Yeah, listen to this album. That's all I got. Yeah.
It's fucking good.
I'm a few beers in right now, so.
I feel like the first song, if you don't like the first song, don't listen to the album. Outside of that, this is amazing. He's a great composer. We've said a lot of things about him. Beyond that, yeah,
I would
that's it.
say if you don't like the first song, then there's something wrong with you. So I just fucking love this album. Like I said, it's been influential to me. So I just can't believe, like I said, I picked it up for $2 and what it became.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
For 20 years of my life. And
Hell yeah.
exactly, just the fact that I could sit there and go off about Yellow Calyx and like the fact that I think of it like this big visionary song. And probably he's thinking, probably I'm thinking of way something bigger than he is. But the way that it feels, and then songs like Logan Rockwood can come in, and the fact that I could help my friend influence her. It's like, hey, come listen to this song because it's something random that you're doing, and this artist is already kind of completing what it is that you're doing. So that way you can listen to this and gain inspiration and see what you're doing is actually the start of something good. So it's kind of neat. Like I said, that this album is I don't know, it's just fantastic. So
yeah, I think Aphex Twin as a whole has a way to reach somebody, like everybody somewhere, and there's a song for everybody. It might not be on this album, but I would highly encourage people to listen to Aphex Twin in some way, because one song he does will affect you in one way, change your perspective and mindset.
Okay.
Because he's fucking phenomenal.
If it's not this, it's April 14th or Window Licker or Come to Daddy or
Donkey Rhubarb?
Donkey Rhubarb. I mean, just, you can list songs that somewhere.
There's so many.
Or like Hot Butter Popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
I tell you what, is Hot Butter Popcorn side story is, so every once in a while I'll do a little programming challenge on my own. I made a one-day version of Tetris. I programmed up Tetris in one day just to see if I could.
Oh, awesome.
But I used some Python, funny enough. You asked about Python earlier.
What?
Right.
And, but the song I used for the soundtrack was Hot Butter Popcorn.
Nice.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, fucking great song.
Just because, I was like, I need some sound, so.
I saw it on some, free game on, Xbox Live. It was, one of those, Geometry Wars kind of thing.
Fuck yes, Geometry Wars.
And it used
just fuck yes, Geometry Wars in general. Yeah.
Something like that, and it had Hot Butter Popcorn. Get the...
Nice.
This is Aphex Twin, oh my god!
It's a good song, yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to tangent the final thoughts, but...
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So...
But it's one of those, feel-goodies. You know what I mean? Because it can hit you deep like April 14th, or it can be...
The point is, the point is being made, there's a song that I guarantee he's done a song for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You need to find it, yeah.
You can even find it on the fucking Weather Channel. Who knows?
Exactly.
Oh, yes, Mo.
Bring it all back around. Like I said, it's
bring it
back.
Bring it back.
Alright, so I'm gonna agree and just say, listen to 4. If you don't like that, you probably won't like it. But even if you don't like 4, listen to Logan Rockwitch, because that's the best song ever.
Stop twisting the knife.
So, thank you for listening to Sad Panda Presents. You can find us iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, sadpandapresents.com, wherever the fuck you get your podcasts. Facebook.com/sadpandapresents podcast. Yeah, it sucks. That's what we could get. Hit us up, follow us, and suggest an album like these boys did, because we're going to talk about it. And hey, if we like you, we might get you to come on. We might not. It depends on how difficult it is. We spent 30 minutes troubleshooting, so we might not do this much more. But, it is what it is. If you've made a suggestion, you haven't seen it, please let us know. We'll get back with you. Make suggestions. Fucking get to us. We'll get to your shit. This is good shit. We have a lot of fun doing this. We've had a ton of fucking fun. This is going to be this is probably our longest episode. I don't know. I haven't edited it yet.
Yeah,
this shit's good.
Yeah,
we like hanging out with our boys, and we like hanging out with people. So fucking suggest an album and then fucking record shit. That's what I got to say. Anybody else?
Yes.
No, this was just an absolute blast to talk with you about all 3 of you about this album. So, and just to share my love
this was fun.
to all of you and to all the listening public.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Paul, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
We love having people on. I know it's a clusterfuck of troubleshooting, but you guys have you made our longest episode ever. You made our nights. Let me just say that.
No, this was amazing.
Yes, guys. Hands down, this has been I've said it before, but I'll say it again. My favorite episode that I've ever done. Hands down. Hands down. It's only because you guys were here.
Fuck
because
yes,
I almost died like twice.
Well, get the goddamn cock out of your mouth and take a breath.
Well, fuck. I can't do vodka and cock at the same time. Right?
Well, to quote another top 40 song, I'll drink to that.
There you go.
My man.
There you go.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope y'all really appreciate it because we love doing it.
Thank you so much.
And, okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.